Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Welcome to another Thursday night where we're going to kick back and do some painting. I am going to actually relax and take off Mr. Rogers' jacket, sweater. It is a beautiful day in my neighborhood. How about you guys?
We'll see.
Huh? We'll see. Yes, I heard about Mr. Max, and that's all I did was hear a little bit about it. Not really sure what happened.
More drama?
It's really simple. Pundit doesn't like Legion of Myth. So Pundit is going after the low-hanging fruit to try to discredit Legion of Myth.
Would you agree with that assessment, Max?
Look at this big boy. That's Hungar.
And the basic expert.
Here's Hungar, 28 millimeter. Hungar, 90 millimeter.
Sweet.
90 millimeter Hungar right there, man. That's a big boy.
Freaking awesome.
The bust side. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it. Twitter is still a cesspool. That's all I got to say about that.
I don't know where, it's so funny because I must be on the wrong channels and shit because I don't hear any of this crap that you guys are like involved in.
No, my problem is I actually got on Twitter yesterday for whatever reason for like a split second, and all I saw was Pundit talking mad shit about Max, like not using his real name, but his real name is right there. It's, if anything, it's Pundit that doesn't use his real name, although it's not a secret. You could find it online.
Yeah,
Oh, hey.
about that.
Crafting Gamer, check this shit out. I got a in Japan for your challenge, dude. Ba-ba-ba. Look at that. Directly from Japan. It's a Gundam. It's a GOG.
Yeah, I'm actually building one of those, a different one of those right now.
This is a 144. These things.
Dude, you got to fix your audio.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah, not only that, but you're
What's wrong
frozen.
with it? Is it echoing?
Cutting in and out.
And echoing. Try it now. Yeah, his lag is pretty bad.
That's come back in.
Yeah, I hang out with Mr. Max a couple of mornings every week, and I'm not going to stop because somebody I don't watch has a problem with him. We're all really opinionated, and that's never going to change.
Yeah. I've tried really hard to keep my real life politics off of the tube of views because I just want a game. And again, like we talk about guys like Total Party Skills, the guy's got some tendencies that I might not agree with politically, but I'd still sit down and game with him. So.
Yep, I have to agree. I've read his stuff. It's solid. It may be a little simple for my taste, but it does solid work. And he's kind of a goofball, but aren't we all?
Yeah. No, he actually put out a video today about this whole Max.
I haven't seen his
Pun
videos,
thing,
but
and it
I've
was-
seen some posts on YouTube, just long paragraphs of opinion, and I'm like, that's yours. You're entitled to it. He makes some valid points here and there, but I'm not gonna stop hanging out with him just because of one thing. Maybe two or three, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
People should never get kicked off the internet or deplatformed for behaviors that are not out and out untoward. I mean, there are a few people that I think that shouldn't have the YouTube platform, but that's because they're malicious. It has nothing to do with their politics.
Yeah,
People
and
that
I
I go
really
after
can't think
the
there's too many
person.
of us that are actually malicious.
We know some malicious people.
And here comes Jim. How you doing, buddy?
Hey boys, how's it going?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Good. I'm just getting a cool drink. I'm gonna have a cigarette and then I'm gonna put together some kilts.
Nice. What are you working on, Bo?
I'm painting up some of these Stargrave dudes. I've got one. There was a head in. See, the great thing about the Stargrave kits is they're all mix and match. And this guy's got a head with like exposed metal plates. So I painted the plates all silver, and I made the purple around the edge of the wound to make it look like a nice, angry scar. Been working on his head. I'll have some pictures of him up later on my community page. I just made a video telling everyone to come and watch this stream, but I finished it about the same time that you sent me the Discord, the link through Discord. So
James, Arn says, howdy, hasn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I mean that's because Fritz hasn't been doing as many paint and chats. He's moving house at the moment. But I think everything will be back online in a week or two, just in time for Christmas. But,
That'll be great.
Yeah, I was thinking about you last night, Arn. I was like, I haven't spoken to Arn Man in a while. So it's good to see you here, that's for sure.
Hey, Dean. And thanks again, Bo. That was really nice of you.
well, I mean, for my benefit too, I'm here. We're all here. People that are involved with the community, the community.
Hey, you know what?
Go show up and chew
until
the
they
fat.
come up with a better word, most of you guys are family. So
I'm okay with the terminology. I think it's just when it's not a stick to beat you with. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes it gets turned into a way of requiring everyone to think exactly the same thing, and that's kind of boring, right? Like,
especially considering we have this freedom of association.
Yeah.
If you don't like it,
100%.
find another channel. Find somebody else that you do like.
I mean, there are heaps of channels that
thanks,
I really
Max.
like, but I don't necessarily subscribe to because, like, I don't necessarily want it coming down the pipeline at me 24/7. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely.
Hey, if you guys don't mind, I want to catch Max from Legion of Myth. I sent him a message after his show this weekend, last weekend. God, it's almost the other weekend. My son, he really looks up to you, and so far, second year of high school, he's already up to first lieutenant, color guard, fencing class, chess club, and he got his first job in the gaming world working on an actual RPG in the art department. So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of the credit because I don't have any of those. Brian, excuse my French. Here, get your ass in here, you muck.
Hey.
That was
that
I can't
cool.
wait to paint that.
Is that
I almost want to replace the battle axe with a fork. What do you guys think?
Yeah, why not? It's just a big trident, right? Like,
No, the real Chuck. This is not a political channel.
thank God for that.
You know what, real Chuck? You're welcome to hang out here and paint, and join in the chat. Once we get to know you, we'll maybe bring you on one of these days. But we've had some problems in the past with some trolley types. Speaking of trolleys, where's our Justin?
Hey?
Yeah, person. You know what? Doing it.
I mean, the thing about politics
We'll do
is that I have like a set of assumptions, and then things change so much that I'm like, maybe I was wrong, and it just keeps happening. So, like, I don't feel qualified to talk about anything anymore because there's so much tumult in the world that, like, I almost can't keep up with it, right? Like,
Well, that's a good thing. That shows a good character of yourself, is that your mind can change due to what's happening in the world. Some people follow that path and never stray from it, no matter what happens, and that's not.
I'm not a particularly ideological person. I think like ethics and like what you do is more important than like all that stuff. It's going to make more of a difference in your local area than being entangled in this mining company masquerading as a country versus that mining company masquerading as a country. Like, it's all neither here nor there in the long run. We just got to look out for each other.
We've come to the point where if you tell people that you just want to be left alone, then they will label you as a reactionary.
Oh, totally.
I just want people to leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I'm not a bigot. I hate all of you. I'm not a bigot. I'm a misanthrope. There's a difference.
You know what I am? I'm a Brian.
That's relatable.
That's fucking it. I'm a Brian. That's all.
That's also relatable, even though I'm not technically Brian.
You're actually a weirdo.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
It's right there in the title. And speaking of weird, man, your show was hysterical.
Yeah, I missed the screen.
I wish there was a way I could, copy what you did with Jackie, because that would be hysterical.
Well, I was telling for Brian that those types of show channels are very popular on YouTube. If you want to get thousands of views, you make a reaction channel. But I make a habit of blocking them on principle because I think it's an easy form of content. It's a low hanging fruit.
Yeah, I mean, it was reading, done because, we got that care package in, so I think we've done it one time before. Some friends of ours up in Canada sent us a bunch of Canadian snacks, and we had. I have to admit, the Canadian Cheetos are fucking fantastic. They're called like what were they? Carpenter's Cheetos or something like that. They're really good.
You got to try Australian chocolate, dude. It destroys American chocolate. Destroys American chocolate. I will. I'll get some. I'll get some up to you in the new year.
Okay.
Like, no problem. You get some Cadbury in ya. There's a reason I'm a chubster.
You guys all know Raven. She sent me a chocolate bar that's infused with bacon and potato chips. I think I have found my new one and only go-to food. It's got my 3 favorite things in it, and wow, that's a match made in heaven.
I'm taking your word for it because that sounds like
Not your cup of tea.
Well, I can't eat chocolate anymore anyway, so what's the point?
Oh,
so
you'll get back to normal, buddy.
One of those snacks from Canada was tomato flavored chips, like potato chips.
I can do that.
And it was good at first, like the first couple, and then you're like, ugh. It's basically tastes like a Lay's that got mixed up in some of your, your barbecues. You have a pile of Lay's next to your burger, and you get some ketchup on it. That's what it tastes like.
I absolutely love that. I mean, we
Okay.
throw ketchup on our fries. Why not, right?
Yes.
Ree brought home some ginger beer chips the other week, and it was like the weirdest thing I'd ever tasted. It was like having a glass of ginger beer and eating potato chips at the same time. I was like, I'm not really sure about this. I don't know if I like it. I'm gonna have to eat like 500 more to decide.
Yeah, I understand.
You know,
So we got a package of cognac-filled chocolate from my friend from Japan, and
Oh,
Mel saw
nice.
that shit. She ate the whole damn package before I had a chance to even try it.
yeah. I when I buy, like, because I'm trying to fast a little bit more now. Like when I buy stuff like that, I just give it to Ree, and I'm like, "Can you hide this from me for like a few days?" All right, let's get started. Let's get into it. I haven't done any modeling all week.
Neither have I.
That's
Except
what we're here
for
for,
modeling.
gentlemen.
Sit down.
I honestly don't know why I didn't think of this sooner.
All right.
Because I get more painting and crafting done when I'm actually hanging out with you guys or in a game than I know Max probably don't approve of doing this while gaming, but you know, when I'm waiting 15, 20 minutes for my turn around a table, not quite that long, but you know, it's
Whose game is that?
nobody's. I was just joking. I can multitask and I you know, when I was growing up, that's actually what we did. When we could afford miniatures, we painted them while we were playing. Back in the old days of Grenadier and Ralph Partha, and of course the King's Heritage.
We used to do that. Yeah.
Essex.
Oh, salt and caramel. Oh my God, absolutely. Sam's Club makes this big old canister for like $10 with like 44 salted chocolate caramel freaking death bombs. Wow. Yeah, I don't even share those with the family. It's like, screw you guys. They're all mine. Yeah, it might even be that company. I don't know. And welcome to the show, Cal. You want to pop in and paint? You're always painting.
Yeah, Kel's always painting.
Max.
I like his style too. I like how he
Sorry,
Moving
Doug,
away. My goal tonight is 3 minis. If I can get 3 of the minis that I've got started finished, then I will be just.
You know, I
absolutely
never ever do that. What I always do I'm the cheapest son of a bitch you're ever going to meet when it comes to paint. If I squirt a color on the palette, I'm going to use every drop of it, and I'll just look at my sea of gray and go, oh, I could throw some of that color here and some here until I'm done. Then I'll go to
batch
another color.
painting.
Yep. Paint is just too expensive these days and too hard to get, you know, through the mail. And Mac, those rosaries you made.
I don't see anything in there, guys.
Well, it's Hungar.
Well, I'm like, again, I'm going to give a
shame on
shout
you
out
for
to
looking.
MRS Hobbies in Salt Lake.
Shame on you for looking, but you kind of can't blame it. You know, see if it's anatomically correct.
Hey,
but
yeah.
but then again, if it was anatomically correct, would you be able to see anything without a magnifying glass?
Oh, damn. Burn.
You'd have that ostomy bag. That'd be fun to paint.
Would it? Would it really be fun to paint?
So
You got to
bad.
fill out the right color of green and brown to fill it.
Well, we could ask
Shame
him.
on you guys. Shame on you.
We love you,
That's all.
Hungar.
Jesus.
You're a weirdo, but we love you.
Well, that's kind of the point, you know. I see James over there going away at his minis. Brian's doing something completely different, which I'm so jealous. But at the same time, I would literally have to get rid of so much to make room for the hundreds, if not thousands, of miniatures I would make in the next year.
I made.
Yeah, I'm
I
not-
printed up 6 of these yesterday. Just yesterday. 6. These are
Self-control,
dust
brother.
walkers.
Self-control.
Dude,
6 of them. It's fucking awesome. I probably printed up like 30 miniatures. Yeah, yo. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm not starting any new projects until I get a printer, basically, which will probably be sometime next year.
Exactly. I'm gonna.
I earmarked a bunch of sites for you guys. I found a Warhammer 40K Imperial Guard army, and they're all female cat girls. And I sent it to Justin so he can get a cat girl army. He's like, I'm just kidding. I'm like, hey man, do whatever you want with it, but it's there if you need it, brother.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was talking about, man.
Blow it up to human size.
That's it.
Well, I don't know about human. I'm into the shorties, so 4'9", 5 even.
Hobbit size. Yeah.
Just kidding.
So yeah, so Shadow likes to sire over his ladies.
Well, I'm 6'2", so I'm usually taller
Are
than
you
most
really?
women.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the runt of the family. I'm like the shortest guy in the family.
Wow.
And he's 6'4".
No, I'm 6'2". My brother's 6'5", I think.
Oh, is it Omen who's 6'4"?
Yeah, Omen's pretty tall.
Like
That's
he
why he's
doesn't
always
look
bumping his head into that point.
But whatever,
There he is, guys.
Nice. I already know I'm gonna do it up.
Here's a 28, and there's a 90.
I mean, if you're gonna have a Hungar in your studio, I don't want to have to like look for it. I've literally got like 300 minis on my table right now.
I'm tempted to do I was gonna do I got Hungar and I got 5 of these these slave girls.
Yeah, I was telling you, but I want the ones that are like bowing down on their knees.
Dude,
All hail Hungar.
I mean, is it okay if they're naked? I can get you that.
Yes,
okay, I'll send you.
Why would I want them? No, let me rephrase that. Why would Hungar want them otherwise?
That's true. Do you want him this size, or do you want him like the small size?
No, human, like he's like a giant,
Oh,
dwarf.
okay. How many do you want?
I don't know, whatever, just like 2 or 3.
How many? Like 50? 3?
50.
Okay.
You know what? I could use 50. One of these days I'll have to show you my adult collection from days gone by.
Dude,
I would be
just this month, I've printed out about 100 naked ladies from cults. They're fantastic. You never know when you need certain positions.
Well, see, here's what happened. I still do. I buy and sell minis in piles, and then I would strip them and either prime them and resell them, or I keep them in my collection. And I started noticing that I'm getting these minis every once in a while, that I'm like, I'm not going to put that on eBay because I don't know what the rules are. And next thing I know, I've got like a box of, slave girls and other stuff going on.
I'm not against titty models if it's a good sculpt. Like I have
oh yeah, these are great.
This Egyptian style sorceress, and she's bare-breasted, and it's a beautiful mini.
Yeah, I've got a bass that's like that. But some of the ones I picked up were from this company called Gentleman's Collectibles, and they're Bo knows what I'm talking about.
The official modeling company of Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, kind of. But I also have almost the entire collection of the Superior Models 90 millimeter pewter minis by Ray Lamb back in the day.
I remember
and those go for like $100 a piece. And I'm like, yeah, they're gorgeous. They're not, too slutty. I mean, some of them are pretty.
The only like in my experience now with 3D printing, you got to be careful. Like certain sculpts are meant to be like big sculpts. Like the 90 millimeter, like hot chick, whatever.
Yeah.
When you size them down to like 28, so like I won't show you because it's your channel, but they're a human size proportion, realistic proportion. But when you bring it back down to 32 mil, they're really thin. They're not. Whereas like wargaming miniatures are a little kind of buffed up, kind of beefy.
Yeah.
that you can get, the detail and whatever in your painting. So you can tell a mini that was specifically designed at a big scale than one that was designed at a smaller scale.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, you can tell.
I was trying to have that conversation yesterday with another friend of ours about scaling 3D STLs up and down and how it doesn't always work, especially, up or down.
I mean, it
Up
doesn't
is
look
basically
bad,
down
but
to
you can tell they're thin. They're thin. They're probably a more realistic, like body scale at that scale, but compared to your other minis, they're really thin and live. I'm gonna go dump this alcohol, guys. It's starting to get me high.
Can't have that.
Can't have that. Nobody's getting high.
Yeah, I could never do that, paint and do anything like that on the side.
Oh, that's normally how I can do it. Like my hand hurts so much today. Like I don't know how long I'm gonna last, but I'm like, you know what? Like relying on pain relief to do your hobby is not a good place to be. So I'm pushing myself anyway.
Yeah. Oh, and I can't take NSAIDs anymore either. So hey, lucky me.
Yeah.
I'm just falling apart.
NSAIDs suck though. Like
great for swelling, right? Ibuprofen.
Yeah.
That's what ibuprofen's for. It's to bring down swelling.
Yeah.
And when my joints are swollen, my muscles hurt, it works great for that. And when the doctor says, okay, no more NSAIDs until we test your blood again, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's
you're a butthole.
I don't do NSAIDs anymore because after I have rhabdo, I'm like, I'm not gonna get any of that shit. I need to make sure I need to baby my kidneys and my liver just in case.
That's what he was worried about. Was my creatinine was too high. But that was just because I fasted. When the doctor said fast for 12 hours, I took it literally. I didn't eat or drink for 12 hours.
Oh,
he said, dude, you can still drink. I said, well,
you didn't say that, sir.
You said fast.
Kathy actually fasted last weekend or the weekend before. I'm like, you don't need to. He's like, yeah, but I'm doing this religious thing, and I'm like,
good for the soul.
Yeah, I can't do it. I literally can't do it.
Yeah, you can do it easily. Fasting is good for the soul.
It's good for the soul.
I have this thing where I get like ravenously hungry, and all it takes is like a little bite, and I'm good. But if I don't, I start getting nauseous and shit.
You should consider like healthy snacks like almonds and stuff like that, like nuts and.
I'm working on it. Almonds aren't all that great for you though, in abundance. If you're not careful, if you eat like more than 10, they can mess you up.
Right. What if I smoke them?
Don't you hate it when you realize you should have painted a miniature before you finished assembling it?
Oh, I never painted sub-assemblies. I've thought about it, but
why did I glue that to that? I'm an idiot.
You don't want me painting in sub-assemblies because that means I'm going to paint every nook and cranny of that mini, even the parts that I can't even see. Whereas if the mini's assembled, if I can't reach it with a brush, I can't paint it. But if it's in sub-assemblies, I'll paint those parts too. And I'll be the only one on the table knowing it's completely painted.
Right. What's the point?
Because I'll be the only one at the table knowing it's completely painted. That's the point. Excellence is its own reward.
So who is getting lambasted, Max? The Bear Max or Max that we know from Canada? Which Max?
The Max from Canada.
Okay. Like the Viking dude? The Viking Frenchman?
Yep. I don't know what he said.
I like his passion. He's like super religious. I'm not a religious guy, but I can appreciate somebody who's like, passionate about what they believe and shit.
I don't know him well enough. Not at all.
He's very talented painter.
I can tell you this. He and I have a lot of differing opinions, but he's done his.
He doesn't seem like he's a hater or anything.
Well, like I said, he's got some opinions that aren't 100% worldwide friendly.
Oh,
But
hell.
you know what?
Don't we
So
all?
do I.
Yeah, no shit.
And I've always believed a friend of a friend is a friend, and that's the way it's going to be until one of these days on Hungar's show he's going to like say something that it was out of control or something, and even then, next 2-3 days later when I do another show with him,
Yeah,
it's all good.
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
moderation
unless
is
he
always.
starts going after Jackie, then fucking it's on.
Yeah. Moderation is a good thing. I mean, like, I know Mac Thompson's out there, and I definitely feel like before I cast comment on any of that stuff, I should probably make another attempt at apologizing to him for like putting him on blast a few weeks ago, because it was not a rational response to what he was saying. Like, even though we disagreed, like, I think sometimes it's good to just chill, like since then I've done a lot of reflection on like, is this really like what I want to do? Like get
It's
into
all good,
scuffles
brother.
with people on the internet?
It's all good, brother. You guys have so much in common. It's ridiculous.
Well, I know he's a good Catholic boy.
I'm sure it goes beyond that, but that's a good start.
Yeah.
I mean, we all do. That's why we're freaking here.
You guys don't hate me because I'm not a believer, do you?
Nah,
James,
No.
look at the screen. James, look at the screen.
there you go. Oh, big love to you, man. I'm
crying
sorry.
in my
It was
fat
it
pillow.
was beyond the pale. No, it really was beyond the pale. I really did overreact, and I was kind of embarrassed about it when I thought about it later on. I was
Man,
like,
I mean,
know
I
what?
gotta go back and watch that shit. What the hell happened? I'm not trying to stir the shit. I'm just like, I miss out on all the cool shit. I don't know where I am.
yeah, I mentioned it to someone, and someone was like, "Oh, it's not like you." I was like, "Unfortunately, it is."
Brian,
It's not.
Yeah.
Well, I
he
mean, we all have those days.
Yeah, true.
he
Just wanna
who
win.
would stir the pot must lick the spoon.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I'm the one thing that I will say about myself is like I'll admit.
Okay, here you go,
like,
Brian. This one's for
made a
you.
mistake. Yeah.
It's
there you
all
go.
right. I'll pick a fight with weird.
It's not hard to point out my shortcomings, dude. Trust me.
There is no spoon, says Dean. Nice. Jinx, show me a Coke, Mac.
Just the spoon that you lick when you stir the pot. That's
Oh,
the only spoon.
so Shadow.
Okay, I guess I have to put my glasses on to join this club.
I'll have to get with you
Yeah.
behind closed doors and let you know some of the figures I found. Old West.
Uh-oh.
West.
Are they weird?
Oh, they're exquisite.
Oh,
Don't let
Oh.
Jackie know.
he's going to inherit them. What are you talking about? That's going to be the worst day of his life when he goes through my shit and just goes, "Oh my god, my dad was a pervert."
What was that? There's a Saturday Night
It's like
Live
when
where
your dad dies and gives you a boner.
there's a Saturday Night Live skit where it's like he's in court and they're like, "Do we need to get a court order to go to your computer?" He's like, "Nope, I did it. I'm guilty." He's just like, don't go to my search engines.
Your best friend's job is to clear browser history.
He's hell yeah. It's like,
But if you're not using a Tor node and a VPN anyway, you deserve what you get.
That's why today's stream
Oh,
has
hey,
been sponsored
Speaking
by.
of which, guys,
yeah, no shit.
Check
Nord
this shit out.
VPN, not
I
sponsored.
was watching, and I wasn't watching. I was trying to watch a movie with a friend of mine who'd never seen it through Discord, right?
What?
On Discord. I was doing a
Okay.
video call, on Discord, and I was trying to watch this movie with her, and we were getting this echo that was like 5 minutes late.
Huh.
That's just your
And we
handler.
lost-
He enjoys the movie as well. It's just your FBI guy.
That was Logan's Run, guys. It was Logan's Run.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get-
there are
get
some nice
Logan
scenes in
Run.
there. I'm just saying, but
American
and
Drive.
it was it was just weird with the delay, and I was like, unless they're recording, how the hell could they? How could that happen? Any of you techies out there know that could be a thing?
Man, I'm all over the net. I don't even give a shit. Just, it's out there. If you guys really want to dive, it's there. Have fun. I don't give a shit.
Well, I have been spoken to by the authorities about my like political research.
Yeah, but
which
you're
was-
fucking in Australia. That's why.
Yeah, I mean we are really a nanny state, and I pointed out to them, I'm like, reading about something doesn't mean that I endorse it, right? And
Exactly.
me being a troll in an environment where a bunch of trolls are trying to outdo each other doesn't necessarily mean we want to blow up the Federal Reserve, although it would be cool if that happened.
I'm not with him.
Is that what you guys call it in Australia? The feds, federal?
No,
Or what do we call
no.
something else?
We have the Reserve Bank of Australia, and they're putting interest rates through the roof, which is another reason to get a printer.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you guys, I am not fucking lying. You will save that printer will pay itself back in like a couple months. And I'm telling you, like Shadow, this thing maybe a tenth of the resin I have in the reservoir. A tenth. That was it. This thing's massive.
How
It's
much
like-
were those walkers? You think?
I'm at maybe a half a tank for 6, and these are solid. These are solid. I hollowed out Hungar a little bit, but yeah, dude. I mean, it's like I'm telling you, $30 for a 2
Liter?
It's not a liter. They saw the
Quart?
2,000 grams is what they call it. So whatever 2,000 grams is in
2
liquid.
liters.
So 2 liters for like $30. And I mean, you can
Unless
make
it's super dense.
hundreds of shit in vehicles, and man, I'm telling you.
I got to make some space.
Yeah, same.
I've
My
literally got-
shame pile is ridiculous. It is actually a
Yeah,
pile of
I've
shame.
got
I'm
got
gonna have
like
to say,
600,
I can't say
700
lead pile
minutes
anymore.
coming.
I gotta call it the resin pile.
Well, I'm still going to buy old school metal, I think, because I just like it so much,
But, I mean,
Yep.
you don't have to. It's all on the STLs. Everything you can imagine. And then some. It's just it's mind-boggling, man.
No, I don't mind resin when it comes to some things, and definitely vehicles. Like I want a shadow sword tank, and that thing's gonna be like this freaking big. I don't want that in metal. A shadow sword.
They
Yeah, I
would
think,
make that
I think those are always in resin, and now they're in
Yeah.
plastic.
Those are all
Yeah.
now
But
they're
a plastic Bane blade kit's like what, like $200?
Yeah.
You could print up like 50.
So yeah, you print your Bane blade and then kit it out, whichever because there's like 8 variants of them.
Right.
Boys, imagine what that costs in boomerang dollars. Imagine what that is in
I don't know
Vidri
what you
dollars.
cost the dollary dues. I have to look it up on
It's
Warhammer.com.
it's
Somebody in the
ridiculous.
chat
All right,
room
Piercy,
how much they
You're
cost.
permanently welcome here.
It's ridiculous what we pay here. Like a $50
It
thing
is
is
criminal what you pay. And I
Yeah.
absolutely encourage everyone, but especially folks in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, to 3D print all of your Warhammer 40K.
Hell yeah, dude.
I mean, I got back into 40K with 10, hoping
We're
it
gonna
would be a
get to it,
bit
Mac.
more
We're gonna get to it. I
balanced, and I
want
knew I
everybody
could get
to
my.
chill out before we get on to tonight's assignment.
I knew I
Listen,
could get my
everyone
little
sign up for
brother
the
into it. I knew I could get my little brother back into 40K, but I spoke to him today. I called him for his birthday, and he's like, I really want to get into historicals, and I'm like, yes.
I'm too
I'm
young
like,
for historicals.
Hmm?
I'm too young for historicals.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Well, I said to him, welcome to middle age. You know,
That's
Exactly.
funny. I was
When
gonna
I
just
give
start
up, when I
before any-
trade sci-fi for historicals, just take me out to the farm where they take the dogs when the dog goes to the farm. Then
well,
that'll be into
each to
that.
his own. Each to his own. But he did say to me, you know, I listened to a law video, and then I listened to like some video about a conflict in history, and he's like, the things that happen in history are like way wilder than anything any sci-fi author
So-
can come up with.
So here's a thing for you guys. Instead of playing a sci-fi fucking war game, play a historically accurate, badass, like super technical, you know, strategically like sound game in a sci-fi setting. That's what you guys need. Stop playing this oversimplified bucket of dice rolling shit.
The only game I play is GURPS on Friday night.
Man, if you got some realistic
Yeah,
like
it really is. It really is the case that like 90% of the hobby is doing what we're doing right now. You know, like you gotta do it. You gotta do it. I already hate what I've done so far, but that's all right. We'll just keep pushing.
Nope, when you're at the hate spot, you're halfway done.
Yeah. That's
Oh
it.
yeah,
That's it.
what do they call that? Not the turd phase, the crap phase. I can't remember that. When your minis just look like garbage.
The bit between the base coat and the last thing you do, like the basing. It's like
Yeah.
you're just like, this is
So this is
terrible.
what we need to do next, guys. We need to come up with a behind-the-scenes, members only kind of like resin STL file sharing thing.
Uh-huh.
That's what Cults
I
was.
want to get with like a Nerd's Nerd because I know she's a Weird War weirdo, and I want to get all the shit that's Weird War that she has.
I
you know?
agree, but I'd rather give money to like people who make minis in Blender than like GW.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and they should get paid. If
Yeah.
you make minis, if you make STLs, you should get paid for them.
Yeah.
And you know what'll
Don't see why
happen?
not.
As you guys know me,
If you
and
found
what do
free
I do
ones
with
that are
with the
good,
minis that I play with? I plug the fuck out of them.
but
You guys
certainly
do.
ones that are free that like people have missed. I'm definitely going to get into it.
STL
because, like,
Napster. Hey,
I
Bo,
don't know
check
if you
this
know-
message
Oh.
on the screen.
Play GURPS every.
I'm learning it. I'm playing. We're playing it. We got a 4th edition game. It's been going on for like 9 months. Every Friday. So I'm just kind of trying to learn all the rules, at least enough of the basics to get by. And then after that, it's just fluff. I was saying on my video earlier today that there's no such thing as a GURPS homebrew because you, by definition, you pick which rules you want to use. So how can you homebrew a game where you pick which rules you want to use? And I pretty much hate the word homebrew anyway, unless you're like literally taking rules from different systems.
I associate it with band practice, like going to my friend's house and drinking his awful bathtub ginger beer and feeling horribly ill and not getting very much band practice done.
So I'm glad we play every week. Hey, you should send me an email to Bo Paints Minis at Gmail, and we can, if you want to talk about it, we can. Because I know that really, GURPS is a meme, and I don't mind that it's a meme. But the reason it's a meme is because it's that good. You know, it's the every decision is just made with 3 dice.
Down the pipeline.
So yeah, Armin, hey, do you have any videos up on your channel? Do I need to subscribe and we can trade ideas? If not, make some videos, man. We need more content.
Okay, so guys, I need your help by the end of the year. I'm at like 485 members. I want to try to get to 500 by the end of the year. So, you guys help me pull some strings, get all your masks.
Well,
shadow
quite a few people have called me a member over the years, but I haven't actually subscribed to your channel or Bo's yet.
What the hell?
I didn't want to change. I had 69 subscriptions, and I didn't want to change the number because I'm immature. And now 2 people have dropped off YouTube. I have space, so I can keep it at 69. I'm going to add you both.
Weird World War II, man. Hook me up.
That's that is weird but fair. I mean, I understand The twisted
That's some weird
logic of it all.
OCD shit right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm like, I just don't want to change it. I'm waiting for someone to drop off the YouTube.
I really like that
playing.
Shadows 666. The video was about Ravenloft.
Yeah, that was funny.
And I like that I was the first one to comment on it.
Hey, James, is that why I keep seeing you? So, every like 3 weeks, I get a notification you subscribe to me.
Yeah, no, that's because like I have a shitty temper and I want to argue with everyone, and I'm working on it.
Like, fuck you, Shadow, you're out. You're gone.
No,
you're dead for me.
Not Shadow. It's just all you Americans. You're so brusque. You're so over the top.
We're so exceptional and amazing.
Dude, like 3 of those subs are me.
I'll tell you the joke that I told Justin, and I don't know if it fit with Australia, but with Justin, I said, I really love the Canadian national anthem. It's too bad I don't hear it at the Olympics more.
Hey, Bo, there's another
Well, we
comment
punch
for you.
above our weight in that category. But yeah, I mean, America dominates the Olympics, dude.
Judge,
Dominates it.
character creation is simple. There's a number of character sheets online that use a lot of macros. I found one that's got the macros buried in it. So if you put the number that you want to spend on points, it does the math for you. I know some people get hung up on picking skills, advantages and disadvantages. But if you know what you want, I think it's not that bad. But I mean, I the first time it was definitely hard. But I just statted out an NPC race the other day. And I think it probably took me about 40 minutes start to finish for the racial template. So I'm getting better at it. The great thing about GURPS books is that they all have really awesome indices. Like every single thing has got an index. So you know exactly what page to go to find the stuff you want. But I mean, I know it's not for everyone. I mean, if it was for everyone, people wouldn't be playing 5th edition. Now that everybody plays
I guarantee a lot of people just don't know there isn't anything other than 5th edition.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. You see it with Warhammer type stuff. I was watching this podcast the other day, and I was like, they're talking about how difficult the new Games Workshop website is for like an hour and a half. I'm like, there's a whole world out there, guys.
Yeah.
It's a shame that it's like that, because I mean, I've never seen this many games and miniature makers and contributors to the hobby that it is now. Shit.
Oh, for sure. So she. Oh, a horrible job. What did I do here? See if I can twist in a bit more of a sensible pose.
Oh man, that's great. Sweet.
Yeah, well, I was reading some old RPG magazines this week and thinking about what a golden age it was 30 years ago, and I think that we're close to we could do it again if we just cut the cord on these big 2 or 3 companies that we're beholden to.
Weird.
100%.
That's it, baby.
100%.
It's weird. WWII. Weird World War II. That's me, Mac.
You'll be my 68th subscription.
Contribute to an independent creator. Buy a book from someone that's brand new. That's got to buy an STL or something.
Like if you
don't
listen,
give money to Hasbro.
Weird World War II thing, I'm probably gonna fucking get it just because that's my shtick. So, if you guys, if anybody out there in the world are going to make a weird World War II game, talk to me. Send me that shit. I'll plug it. I'll play it.
Well,
Yep, same way with the West.
No money's involved. Just give me some free shit. I'll talk about it. Not necessarily say.
Tell me about it, and I will pay for it, and I will review it on my channel. That way, you get an honest review.
What the
one
fuck?
of the biggest incentives for me is like, because I struggle putting these together because of my hands and stuff. a friend of mine, I don't know if you know Swedish Fred. Not really Swedish, he's Finnish, but he lives in Sweden.
I met him last week.
Yeah, he's had some health problems too, and he said that like one of the big things is like reposing models and adding accessories, but at the STL stage, so he's not gluing little pieces together and doing this horrible pinching motion that canes.
I have to admit, as I age, my hands are fine. Luckily, still, it's my fucking eyes.
Right.
Ooh,
My eyes are just shit now, and it's really hard for me to paint. It's a chore.
Well, I have a lot of busted vertebrae, which is what affects my hands, and I've been fighting for like 5 years to get surgery, and it doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. So I've had to change a lot of my habits to accommodate this situation. But that's all right. We push through. I don't get as much done as I would like, but I'm working on it. Well, I'm here.
in a way though, James, that's not a bad thing because then you have more on your
Well, I have
to-do
a lot
list.
of I have a lot of nervous, creative energy that needs to be put somewhere constructive. So I get frustrated if I'm out of action for a week or two. But
Hey, Nathan's on.
Me too.
sometimes I need to be told to rest. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I really need to be forced to take a break.
Hey, Shadow, do me a favor. Mac can't find my channel. Throw my channel link on there. Let me. I'll send it to you on the private chat, and then just.
Yeah, I don't know if I can have those skills.
You can try.
You can try.
You can try. And just copy this and put it in your in the conversation because I can't do it. You have to be a
Moderator. Yeah,
moderator.
that reminds me. I need to next time we're together. Don't come in until I can make you guys moderators
Okay.
Okay.
because I can't do that from here.
I gotta learn how
Yeah,
to do that.
I'm gonna put that on my resume.
Forget it. He found it. Mac found it.
I'm gonna put on my resume. Actually, I'm like a moderator on Shadow and Sun, so I got a lot of experience.
A
least you got
light
that going
read.
for you.
I don't know what that is. Judd
There it is.
Cypher system. I don't know
I
what
figured
that
it
is.
out. Yay! I learned something today.
Nathan's on, by the way, Shadow.
Hey Nathan.
Oh, hey Nathan,
Want it, Nathan?
what the hell's up, man? And Justin, what's up?
Is Nathan a gamer or is he just like a?
He used to be pretty big into it, but now he's more into the paranormal and the woo woo and the supernatural and all that good stuff.
Well, with all that knowledge, dude, he'd make a great like a
DM?
horror, like a horror DM or something like that, like a sci-fi DM or something.
Oh, sure.
I've been dropping hints. He should start up a game, but I know he's really, really busy, and I get it. But
We're all busy. We're all busy.
Oh, so guys, next week, big things happening over here. Me and Mel are officially gonna get married.
no way.
Oh,
So next Wednesday, we're gonna officially get married. Now in February, we're gonna have a reception for like everybody. So if you're in Texas, I'll let you guys. You're more welcome to come, but I'll let you guys know about all that shit.
I'll
But
start swimming.
we're gonna officially like do it all official. Like we're gonna pay the
That is
government
so
money
cool, dude.
to ask them if it's
You
okay
guys
to get
are
married.
made for each other.
congratulations.
Just whatever you do, don't
Keep it weird.
change the damn thing. I've seen so many
That's true.
couples, as soon as they sign that paperwork, it's like some freaking
I'm
weird
totally
ass
having her
switch.
sign a prenup. She doesn't get my. She can't burn my shit. She's got to give it away or something.
You know what I mean, though.
No, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, obviously, you know, if you can change things for the better, do so, but don't like start getting weird or overthink it. I
Well, we're gonna
mean,
get weird. That's for sure.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
I nearly got married years ago, so it kind of put me off the whole thing. You know, I'm
Man, we've
happy
been
to.
pretty much.
I'm
we've
happy
Holy
to
been
crap!
live
living
in
I'm
the
coming up
like
my
5 years.
21st anniversary.
24. Jeez. When you get married, when you're like 20?
27.
Wow. I got married when I was 30. No, yeah, 30, and I had my first kid at 30. Well, I said my ex-wife had my first kid, but yeah.
First, he wants to know if the reception is being held at Buc-ee's.
Dude, don't. I live behind a Buc-ee's off of I-35 in Temple, Texas. I live about a half a mile away from Buc-ee's, the big one.
Hey, any warm-up you want to pop in? Or anybody else bring in?
Mud.
Yeah.
He's always doing some sort of hobbying. If he's
He's
not
probably
hobbying,
around.
he's eating tacos or fucking burritos or doing a box opening. See, that's Mutt's whole life right there.
I did a
You
box
know what?
opening
That
today.
sounds like the good life.
And actually, I'm about ready to go have some supper myself and take care of these
Oh,
kids.
crap. We were going to just start the topic.
Okay,
I
we'll
was gonna
start the
take a-
topic right now then.
Your kids can fend for themselves.
Okay. All
I
right.
was going to go downstairs, have a little smoke break, and come back, read
I thought we're
yours.
just crafting and talking.
Well, no, I definitely wanted to talk about the thing that I talked about earlier because
See,
I said I was going to do it. I kind of
for sure.
Curse magic
I mean,
items.
I'm surprised that DMs don't have like DMs who are really keen on the railroading thing. Like,
Well,
don't
what
have
happened with
more
that, though?
than one railroad. You know what I mean? It's like at least provide people a few options, like in terms of how things can pan out. At least give the illusion of choice.
that's not necessarily railroading. I mean, it's still up to the players to decide what they do.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think so. I don't know. DMs are like DJs. They need to be put in their place.
I have to admit, you're very well spoken, dude. The words and the phrases and the shit that you say, it's very well spoken.
I know,
that's
guys. He needs to have his own channel,
better
doesn't he?
than
He's not American.
you talk like a puff, innit?
Not like that, not like accent wise, but I mean just like your speech.
Yeah, I'm what you might call a thoughtful guy. I'm full of thought.
There you go. That's
think
a
about
rare
things.
commodity these days. Everybody
I
seems
think
to just
about things.
go on emotion.
Probably too much. Well, emotions are just there to be intellectualized, obviously.
There you go.
That's how you deal with those.
It's like so I'm using my clippers to knock off some of these pegs, and they're like bouncing around. It's like a pinball machine in here, fucking bouncing off the walls. I gotta close my eyes and like it's like when you're cutting your toenails. It's like not sure where that toenail is gonna fly at.
Right in your mouth. Ah.
Into somebody's drink.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of pegging.
Pegging? Like I don't know. I don't know if pegging means something else in Australia, but what's it say? Giant cream cheese cinnamon was amazing. Oh, dude. Okay, so first of all, Buc-ee's is for the tourists. The locals, none of us shop at Buc-ee's because it's fucking expensive, right? But the tourists freaking love it. And that place, there at any one given time, at any hour in the day and night, there will be at least 100 fucking cars at Buc-ee's. 3 a.m, 100 cars. You know, it's Christmas night, 100 cars. It's just never stops.
Yeah, we sound smarter than we
Hey
are.
Ryan, long time no see, man.
They just got a bunch of Tesla recharging stations. There must be 50 of them. Like the
Good.
Tesla electric car recharger stations. I'm just like, what? But Buc-ee's is big thing in Texas. It's like,
I'm cool with Elon. I just don't want to put a Raspberry Pi in my head. You know?
he is something else. He is definitely a character, man.
Yeah, but
He's a different breed.
one of these days I'll have to tell you my theory about him. I don't even think he's human.
You know, you think he's
That he's Pol Pot.
He's a lizard.
Son.
listen,
He looks
people?
Lizards.
He looks a lot like Pol Pot. So I think he might be Pol Pot's child.
He's got that same skin suit as Dr. Stephen Greer. Go look the two up simultaneously and tell me they didn't shop at the same skin suits or us.
Greer and Lazard look weirdly similar. I mean, that could just be my autistic face blindness, you know. But
Lizard
I mean,
people.
I always thought Lazard was full of crap.
I got a question for hold on a second, let me find it.
Nathan?
Does Nathan? Okay, so if Nathan's still on board, is there like an occult guy, you know, kind of like yourself, that you hold into a high station? You know, like someone that knows his shit, or you know, is there somebody like you that you know in what you do that you like hold really high in like respect because of what he knows and what he thinks and all that stuff?
I think he's going to say you got to show up on Saturday night.
Okay.
But
Dude,
he might
after Saturday night, after your show, I'm exhausted. It's like fucking midnight. I'm going to bed.
Hecklefish, damn Skippy.
I'm old now.
But don't be tricked by that show, guys. Look what's underneath Hecklefish's bowl and come talk to me.
What the hell are you talking about?
He doesn't know.
He doesn't. He's not one of those.
Hell, I don't even know.
He says, "No, there is no hero. I can achieve anything anybody else can. So can anybody else."
No, there was no.
I think maybe, especially maybe more on the conservative end of the spectrum, people are always looking for a savior. And in my lifetime, I've only been aware of like one, and he lived 2,000 years ago.
I don't hero worship anybody. The only person I've ever hero worship was my mother.
What about Sean Connery?
Oh, wait.
No,
I forgot. There is one other. There is one other. This guy.
Sausage sandwich.
Sausages and ladies.
He says, "Good question, though, Brian."
Right on. And that's another thing. It's like, you know, a lot of people will take the accomplishments of like, you know, like Americans and like the country in general. I didn't do any of that shit. I don't take credit for American greatness or their weaknesses.
This is incorrect. Like, I take credit for every Australian invention. Because I have very little going on, and I'm quite happy to take credit for it. I mean, Australians are so bad at that.
Question mark?
Yeah, of course. But Australians are so bad at that. We even steal like other people's stuff. Like, if an actor like Russell Crowe comes from New Zealand, everyone's like, "Oh, great Australian, you know."
I thought he was
like,
Australian.
No, he's a New Zealander. He just lives.
That was a lie. It was a lie.
We just steal him. We just steal them all. But we invented Wi-Fi, black box recorder.
Paul Hogan, right? Hogan's still Australian, right?
Except for tax purposes, yeah.
That's right.
All right, now that I'm back in the studio,
I was a fan of his until I found out what he did to his old lady. Like, he had like 100 kids with his wife, and then he like hooked up with that hot actress chick. And I was like,
yeah, Linda Kozlowski. I mean, the thing is, Hoax, like, I never really got into like Crocodile Dundee or any of that nonsense, but his sketch comedy from the 70s
Yeah.
is such a little piece of Australiana of the time. It's like
That's
revved
cool.
up cars, cigarettes, $2 a packet, lots of beautiful girls like Benny Hill running around. It's hilarious. It's just a little
That's
slice of Australia in the 70s, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know I'm down.
So, sandboxing or railroading? What do you guys think?
Double teaming.
I'm going to start with James.
Well, I'm not much of a role player, am I? But at the end of the day, if I were to run a game, I would be stuffing so many different outcomes into envelopes and randomly pulling things out. You know what I mean? I love random. Random is good. So, you know, yeah, there might be a loose railroad, but there'd be a lot of options within that, you know? And that's all I got to say.
Script it all out and force people down that road.
No, what's the point? It's like, you know, I can't get you to. I mean, part of the whole problem of 2023 is that, you know, I think that you have the wrong ideas in your head and I hate you for it, right? Like, that's not the way to be. It's like, you got to make it open and breeze. I think it's more interesting for the DM. Like, if there's a bit of like randomness,
It's definitely a bigger challenge, that's for sure.
You know, it's like, if you don't know what's going to happen, Delvine, man, Delvine Delaney, what a babe. On the topic of babes, hi, dickhead.
Hey, Ree, welcome to the Nut House.
Ree, say hello.
Hi.
Guten Tag.
Don't be doing
Hey.
that.
Mac and cheese.
Oh,
She's having-
yeah.
Mac and cheese for life.
She's having a disgusting craft
Okay,
dinner.
I'm going to bring you in, buddy. Just give me a
Okay,
second.
so I got to ask, creamy mac and cheese or powder? I love the powder. What is she like?
Yeah, she'll show you the box. I've offered to make her like the real deal.
I want the disgusting stuff.
And,
Mac and cheese.
you know, she's like, nah, it's got to be the plastic.
I like the powdered stuff. I don't like the creamy mac and cheese.
They are not crunchy.
You know,
you know what? We do both
well,
around here.
Brian is not the greatest
When it's
yardstick,
dinner time, it's the creamy. When it's a late night snack, it's the powder.
Late
I
night
love
snack.
the chemical taste.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty serious about pasta. Like, if you can't tell, I got angry at her for adding like oil to the water. I'm like, what are you doing,
Welcome to the show, Mac.
Mac? Welcome aboard.
Mac, what's up, dude?
And Minnie says just had mac and cheese with salsa and chicken nuggets.
Oh my god, that's like,
I don't know how Brian keeps his womanly figure, man.
yeah. Well, every time he eats that, it goes on to me. That's the thing. It's like he's got some weird Dorian Gray diet plan going on there.
Dorian Gray.
It's like every
So,
time.
welcome to the show, Mac.
Thank you.
Anytime, brother. And we just lost Bo. Get back in here, Bo. It's almost your turn. So, Brian, Sandbox, Railroad.
All right,
What's your-
so
what's your
I was
philosophy?
thinking about this, right? And I think maybe age and experience of the player can make it be a factor as well. If it's like kids, I think I'd want to try to kind of guide them in a certain way, or they'll just fucking like, you know, get lost in the ether, you know, chasing rabbits down the fence or something like that. And then like people who are inexperienced and not sure how to play, just that kind of guiding them, but at least for the first adventure or first campaign, just so they can understand how things work.
We're good people.
But in any other circumstance, it's just open game, guys. I have one rule on the table: no chaotic evil characters. That's it. Everything else is a go. So
Sure.
there you go.
How about you, man?
Fritz? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, James.
Fritz has a good policy on like chaotic evil murder hobos. He's like, you can do it, but I'll turn you into an NPC eventually. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to do that, that's fine. Just be prepared for the consequences.
And there is consequences, but it still happens. You know what I mean? It's the
Yeah,
damage
yeah.
is still done, and
Yeah.
everybody else has to. You know, like if you go, okay, you can do whatever you want, but there's consequences. Okay, but there's not. It's not like in a bubble. You know, it's not just them. It's the party with the people with them, and they get all screwed because of it or whatever. So, yeah.
Sometimes it seems to me like the guy who does the evil character thing is like really skewing the game a bit. Like it's not very sporting, but I mean, sometimes you might have an evil party. I mean, everyone's done that
Yeah.
once.
But
you know,
even then,
like,
if you have an all chaotic evil party in just rational sense, they wouldn't even be together. They wouldn't even like be organized. They'd just be like,
there is a bit of like you have to be at least lawful evil to undertake any sort of Byzantine plan to, you know, take over or whatever. You know.
I don't know.
So Mac, Railroad, Sandbox, how do you run?
Well, to be honest, I kind of treat it like Brian said. It depends on their experience, how old they are, how good they are. If you're running with a group that you've been running with for like 10 years, you know, and everybody knows everybody, they know what they do, they know their habits, you know, you can pretty much just, you know, wing it for the most part. But when you have younger players, like Brian was saying, you know, it's a lot better if you go further than an outline. I think, you know, sometimes you gotta kind of nudge them back because they might not realize the sidetracking that they're preparing to get into, you know. But
you know, I had thought about that before tonight, and I do every once in a while run for a group of kids, and I never thought of it, and I should have, because, you know, you guys are making some great points when it comes to newbies, you know, not just kids, but it's like, hey, you know,
honestly,
you might wanna get
like
back on the rails.
I'm so inexperienced with RPGs specifically. I probably wouldn't even know you were doing it. Like, you know, really, it would take me a while to catch on to actually go, oh, I see what he's doing.
yeah, and if you're subtle, you know, you can get away with it indefinitely.
Hold on just a minute.
I've done that to my group a lot when they started to kind of. It's not that I don't want them to just go completely sideways if they want to. You know, I can wing it. I probably wing like probably 80% of my games because I know that they're going to do something other than what I planned out. So I just stop planning most of it. I've got a basic outline. I kind of know, okay, we're going to do Ravenloft this week. There's a castle up there. I'm going to try and get them interested in going that direction. But most likely, they're going to want to go see what's through the forest in the opposite direction and chase wolves for no apparent reason. And I got to make shit up on the fly as they 200 miles.
Hey, there's something shiny over there. Let's go.
So it's, you know, you have to be prepared for that. I would say probably more than being prepared, like, you know, reading through a module, which I do just so I'm familiar with the material. But I would say a good DM probably should just be ready to wing it. You know, and be able to make stuff up. You don't want to, like, you know, Max and I talked about this, you know, months ago about, you know, setting, you know, being primary or story being primary. And I think it's good. I don't know how to put it. It's a lot of GMs I've seen, they will go and they'll write their story out and they'll spend weeks and weeks sometimes writing everything down, all the characters, all the scenarios, all the fights, every possible thing. And then when the party decides to choose, you know, door A instead of door C, then they're completely unprepared and they don't know what to do. The game slows down, it stops, it sucks, you know.
I think that's every DM had that when they first started.
Right.
You know, because you're not even expecting. You say, okay, I got this great adventure. Let's go, guys. They're like, no, we're not gonna go. We're gonna go over here instead. You're like, what? Wait a minute. And I think we all have been through that in our, you know, whatever stage of role playing we're at right now. But I think we all felt that at one point. Now, I mean, what's a real challenge is like using modules in a pre-existing campaign, right? So I like modules, but the craft is trying to bring your overall campaign into a way that brings them to the modules story, changing the modules names, the
Well said,
kingdoms,
Percy.
whatever. So that's a big challenge.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, that's what I tend to do most of the time. Like, okay, we'll take Ravenloft for example, since Shadow's been talking about it so much lately. I love Ravenloft. I probably have run more people through the Dread Domain than anything else for the last 30 years.
Wow.
I know a lot of the material. I've read a lot of the novels. I'm familiar with just the storylines and the settings and the history. I've tried to run a few times. I've tried to run people through the modules step by step, like Shadow was talking about earlier, and it never goes. It never goes according to plan. They always get sidetracked. So I just spent time getting familiar with the material, and then I sit down with a blank notebook and some dice and my screen so they don't know what I'm doing or they don't know what I'm not doing. And then I just let them go. And then I improvise and adapt throughout the whole thing. If I need to look up stats for a monster, I'll look them up. Sometimes it seems like things are dragging out and they're getting bored. And I will just make an encounter in the middle of nowhere, you know, just to keep things going and make them think that's part of the adventure. I don't think I have ever ran any of the Ravenloft modules page, you know, front to cover or front to back, exactly the way it was designed, because the group never goes that way.
And that's a challenge. When you're doing a module, like a story module, like I assume Ravenloft, like all other modules, and then they're
really railroady sometimes.
Yeah, so that's a challenge, man. That's a big challenge. You know, and
so how are you?
You're talking about behind the screen, right? Like, and I mentioned, Shadow was talking about, you know, don't look on the other side of the screen. You know, that's a cardinal sin on my table if players looking over on the screen. But I always love when you start rolling dice or start writing or something behind the screen, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, they get so nervous.
Keep doing whatever you're doing, and they hear that dice. They're like, they hear this, you know, and they're like, "What are you rolling?" "Oh, nothing. Go ahead, keep going. What were you doing again?" It's great. Talk about psychological warfare.
Oh yeah,
so
it's
Bo,
very messing with them.
What's your take?
Tolkien railroaded his party. Right?
Yep.
The Fellowship of the Ring, they're going through the pass because that's the way they wanted to go. They wanted to avoid Tolkien's dungeon. There's this very convenient rock slide that made them all go back to the dungeon. Okay, this is how I feel about railroading. I want to run an open world campaign, but every once in a while, I'm not opposed to throwing up an event that moves the party in the direction that I want to go. Fortunately, I have a party right now that will take any adventure hook I throw at them. Oh shit! There's an adventure hook. Let's bring on the adventure. But I'm at that point right now where I've got some ideas for my campaign, and so I guess my point is I've got this big adventure planned. If the party wants to go the other direction, I'll save that adventure for later. I'll just save it. It'll come up. They'll take the hook eventually.
That information that you've created never disappears.
You have to stop and think about what is. See, it boils down to ego. If you are the kind of game master that insists on telling your story, if you're the kind of game master that wants to have 30 pages of exposition and then just tells the players when to roll dice, that's not the kind of game I want to run. Sometimes in my game sessions, I won't talk for half an hour, and I'm the game master. I'll just let the players run. Wherever you guys want to go, that's where you go. I'm behind the scenes, like Brian said, I'm rolling dice, I'm setting up stuff, whichever way you go. So what I think the compromise is to create a loose framework, like a role playing universe is like a clock. I built the clock. I picked the cogs. I tensioned the springs. I wound it up. I oiled it. I put it on the mantelpiece. Once it's on the mantelpiece, it just runs. I don't got to touch it no more. The players do all the fiddling with the clock. So that's how I mean. So it's like, yeah, sometimes they've got to rail a little bit. I want to. My goal is to create the universe both detailed enough and expansive enough, at the same time loose enough that I don't have to railroad.
Okay, I'm going to bring in Omen because that's what we do
Yeah,
here.
I think a lot of DMs have a weirdly kind of adversarial attitude towards parties, whereas like I think if I were doing it, I would just be like more about setting the vibe and like the parameters, and kind of, I don't know. I'd want them to have fun. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want them to be like suffering for every jump shot.
I'm going to bring up two things here because everyone's talking about, well, there are two. One is the players also need to throw some bones to the DM. Is if you're going to do a sandbox game, if it's going to make it truly a sandbox, that's one thing. And then you say, okay, I'll put some quantum ogres and stuff in there to move along. Or,
okay, real quick, what is a quantum ogre? I don't know that reference. What's that mean?
It means the monster will appear no matter which direction they go in. But my point is that once you found said ogre, it can't move anymore. So the players don't know one way or the other. You know, that's the thing that always gets me. It's like, oh, I don't like that. I always get this choice. Well, you know what? The illusion of choice is there. But the thing is it needs to still be set. You know, if I say you go left and you find the ogre, you say, well, we're going to avoid that ogre, and you go right. I'm not going to put another ogre there. I'm going to put some other monster. You know, but once you found something, it's set, and then that's how you build the world up. But the other part that comes into it is if you're a player and the DM is putting all these hours in, don't be a dick and then suddenly say, well, I'm just going to ignore your adventure, which is what a lot of us did when we were young. And it's like, look, we're here to play a game. It's just like a module. If you put down, hey, well, let's go play L1, I'm going to try sticking within that framework within L1 or B2 or B4 or whatever it is. You know, I'm not going to say, oh, guess what? We're going to play Pharaoh. And I look at it like, screw this guy. I'm going to walk out of the desert and do something else. Well, that's kind of a dickish move on my part if I was the player. The other part that comes into it is what type of, you know, if I say, hey, I'm not interested in doing Egyptian stuff, then the DM, you know, I think the problem is that when we were young, it was kind of an adversarial relationship. And, you know, when we play in Bo's game, it's more of a cooperative, hey, let's go this way. It's a cooperative experience.
Yeah.
It's a cooperative experience. Now, that said I kind of like the highway method, which is, you know, look, you're going to be on the highway for a bit, but there are exits like every mile that you can take off and go in some different directions. But you're still, you know, but if you're on the main highway, you're still going to go towards that direction. You know, it's going to lead to a certain end result. But I'm going to give you time to do your little side quest. It's just like any of us that have played The Witcher 3 or anything. I do all my side quests as much as I can. There might be 200 side quests. I still want to play the side quest and do the main adventure. And I think that's I think this idea of all or nothing is a bad idea overall. It's like, okay, you know, if we're going to go through with it, if we go over and say, hey, you know, to be fair, that's not that we always do it, but, you know, if Bo says, I want to play Drop Troopers, and we all go, yes, let's do Drop Troopers, and then we say, nope, I want to do something else, you know, but Bo also asks after every game, hey, what did you think? Or whether we interact, but I always like doing that for my games too. What did you like? Where do you want to go? You know, we can develop a thread in there and work with things. To me, it's as long as you're cooperative with this and giving back and forth, that's what allows games to last a long time. When it's my way or the highway, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm bored of this. I'd rather do something else, and I will.
It's also good when the DM is a bit surprised by some things that happen.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. Well, again, that comes down to.
I would hate to know. I would hate to know exactly how things would turn out before
I can't
starting.
read my screen.
Yeah, there's no noise coming from it.
And I'll say this much: it's just like having
No,
kids. You think that they'll do one thing,
No,
and they will do
because I
something
bought- I
completely different
the screen.
than what's never expected.
Right, and I had to do one, and I can't read it.
You know, I'm
So
pretty
you-
forgiving. Like, I will play a game
Tells you that.
for a while in a way that I'm not really wanting to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even like well, you were saying, you'll walk away from the table if it's not what you want to do.
No. What I mean is if it's something completely like what I don't want to do, it's not like I said. You still give back and forth. It's one of these things like, hey, we'll try this, but I don't want to be stuck in something that I really hate for like 8. You know, if it's going to be like a full year and I'm just not enjoying it, it's like you know what? After several months, I'm just going to leave. You know, and it's not that I'm saying it's a bad game or anything. It's just like everything else. You shake hands, you say, hey, this just isn't for me. I don't think I'm a good match. You shake hands and say thank you, and you walk away. You don't burn your bridges, which is what people seem to do. You're not playing my way, so I'm going to burn the bridges. Like, you don't do that in real life. Why would you do it in the game? Well, let's be honest. The people that burn all the bridges and then they wonder why they're all alone. You know, come on.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm basically like that archetype, but you know, let's not.
You're so much like that archetype that you come in here and you're like, no. Well,
It's like, but no matter what,
my friend used to call it bombing the dead cities of the mind. Like when someone really just loses their temper, he's like, oh yeah, he bombed the dead cities of the mind. Like,
well, you know, let's be honest. If you're in a game, you're committing generally 2 to 4 hours, at least bi-weekly, if not weekly, and you know, really, if you're not having fun, it's not going to be fun for a lot of the other players. You're gonna kind of resent everyone. It's just better if you cut it off after a bit.
Is bi-weekly like a devil's threesome that you're not that into?
Sean Courageous Music says, and it's the essence that matters, especially to a DM. A DM is a player at the table too, and being surprised and adapting to situations, that's a big part of the game. That's something I was talking about earlier. You know, if I wanted to just write a story, I just go to the typewriter, type up a story. But I want to be surprised. I want to, you know, see where the players take the situations that I throw in front of them. You know, they're going to come up with some, you know, ideas that are just going to blow your mind if you give them the opportunity. And
No, I agree with you. I think the other thing that's going to happen there is that's part of the fun of it. But even great writers, whenever they say it, is they aren't even sure sometimes where the story's going to go. If you really get into character, you'll play that character and you'll go in directions you weren't expecting for that. And I think that's true.
I found notes that I'd written for our game. Going through my laptop, I found some notes, and I'm like, oh crap, that didn't happen at all. It went completely the other direction. I just ran with it.
Yeah, it's good to have options, but you should keep them open, right?
Well, that's why I said I like the highway, which is there are certain times you can get off of the railroad very easily. You know, you're not stuck there all the time. But I like to have some kind of narrative arc or something for the players. You know, because I would love for them to create some backgrounds and then I'll throw in some storyline for them. And the other part is you put hooks out there and see if they'll take it. The worst players are the ones that sit there like a bump on the log and don't take any hooks, don't move the plot forward, don't do anything. Those are the worst players to have.
Also get your homework done.
And I don't mean the ones that are sabotaging. You know, you also have the sabotaging players, but I mean, you look at it and the guy just comes in, he plays whatever he's going to do, doesn't really do anything, it really adds nothing to the story. He's just there. And you go, okay, that's all right, but I'd like you to move the story forward. That's just the way I feel.
I have a weird feeling I would stumble into doing that without realizing I was doing that.
See, I like those kind of players, to be honest, because I take it as a challenge. You know, if
Yeah,
I see
I'm
somebody
the same
they're
way.
sitting there and all they're doing is rolling dice every now and then, they're not really speaking up. I usually focus on them and I try to give them just a little bit more to do, or try to draw them out just a little bit to see if they're really just a wallflower, or if they're just timid, or they're not sure what they want to do.
Well,
You know?
and some of them just come to just watch. I'll be honest. Sometimes it's
Yeah,
just fun to watch
exactly.
when Brian goes to watch. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys
Well,
later.
it was
Gotta talk to
me.
my son.
I don't know
Oh,
why
you
it's
can
so
stick
good.
around. We're going to be here a while, man.
Yeah, it's well, we've been here about an hour and a half, so
Well, I wanted to touch on Bo's been having an issue with NPCs and not wanting to run them, and trying not to do the DMPC.
I always run the NPCs. I said I did not want to run a PC as an NPC. That's a big difference. That's like
here's the
touching
story.
somebody else's barbecue. I don't touch somebody else's barbecue.
So this is the story, guys. Okay, so it's like a player is absent. Okay, so you have a party of players, right? But they're absent for whatever reason, and that character in game is now in neutral. And me personally, if you're a player and you're not there, I, as the DM, will take over your character and play it how I would think they would play it. So, because in my opinion, it's fair to the rest of the party because all the party members are present. They don't just default into like a neutral stance, and they're just kind of
suspended animation kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've always had a sort of standing rule. You don't show up, I'm playing your character.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be left behind or something, because I don't like these parts of the story where, you could almost tell that the player wasn't there to run their character and things don't move the way they were moving. Suddenly that character just says, I'm going to be here guarding the horses or something. Which is sometimes isn't bad, but it
For
can
me,
get in the way.
For me, the biggest obstacle is like the amount of downtime every player has while one player takes their turn. It's like
yeah,
you can
it can
keep
happen.
if
That
you can keep
shouldn't
it.
that can happen, but what you have to do is you have to punish the players for not being proactive.
Well,
Use
what's
a
really
chess clock.
challenging is when the
Use a
party
chess
is
clock.
split. When the party's in different areas, that's a
Yeah.
challenge as a DM because you want
I
to
don't
try
like steering
to
the party. We've
run
discussed
both
that.
parties to where one isn't getting bored and the other one, so that's a challenge.
Because you're representing real-time events with like 4 people or more, and sometimes I just think, like I'll watch a lot of games and I'm like,
Well, that's the
this is dragging
Scooby-Doo
a bit.
effect, right? The Scooby-Doo effect is when you split the party.
But I know that's an adage in the hobby that we love, but it happens. Sometimes it happens by choice, and sometimes it doesn't. You get sucked into something, and you're separated from the party. And that person isn't. Again, they're not just thrown into a neutral stance. They have to. You play it to where whatever area that they're in, and you keep playing. And you're like, okay. Meanwhile, Shadow and Bo are over here, and Omen, hold on a second, we'll get right back to you in a second, and then that kind of shit. So
Yeah. I mean, overall, I feel like I would probably be buying a lot less stuff if I was playing a lot more. I mean, that's kind of hanging over me at the moment. Kind of thinking, maybe I need to use my stuff a little bit more.
it's true. It's like, I mean, we got these
a lot of untapped potential on my shelves already.
What as the GM, DM, referee, keeper, whatever you call that person, it's really not fair for that person to have the impetus to run a character for a player that didn't show up. What it should do is motivate the player to be at the table more often.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense if and again, you play the way that you play, but it doesn't. I mean, you have these individuals that are pivotal to the party, but
Sure.
then all of a sudden they're absent, and it
Right.
just
But that's selfish on the part of the other players to put that pressure on the GM. Don't be like, okay, like Josh's character. Josh is not going to come back to the game because Josh broke his foot and he's been in the hospital for the last month. But nobody wants me to kill his character off because he's a pilot and everybody wants to have two pilots.
But there's no reason to kill his character.
That's not fair to me.
If you do good timekeeping and you make use of all the tables in your game, there's really no reason why you can't be doing stuff between games. You know what I mean?
That's true. But everybody and when it comes to this particular situation, everybody expected me to pick up this other character and use it, and you basically use them as the weapons platform. That's what everybody.
I put them on. They're on an HR training course right now, and they'll be back next week. That's how I would do it.
We're in the trenches on in the Psalm, and it's like Private Bigsby has been transferred to the rear, so no one shoot at him. Let him get back to the rear.
He's doing sensitivity training right now, so he'll be back.
There's too many in the trench right now. He has to leave until we've free up some space.
Well, that's what happened
they did rotate troops a lot, right?
Yeah, it's true.
A lot.
No.
A lot.
Yeah. That's what happened to the guy in Platoon, right? In Platoon, right before they go into that huge it was like at the climax of the movie when they all get when the VC overrun their fire base and the big black guy from Mississippi. Oh, you're king. Oh, your papers just came through. You're getting out of here.
Now that didn't start happening until Vietnam, because in World War II, the fucking U.S. soldier, he fought until it was done, and it was up to the commander to decide if they get leave or not. There was
World
not
War II.
the Brits, the Commonwealth had a cycle. After so long, they would be cycled back to the rear. The Americans
spend like 6 weeks on, 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off, kind of thing, or 4 weeks off.
Did not do that.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm sure the Germans.
Yeah, I have a weird feeling my brother is going to be doing some World War II gaming next year, especially if I get a printer. I was just like, because he's moving to the country. He's moving to the country, but he's not that far away.
What scale?
And I'm like,
yeah. In Australia, not that far away means it's only an overnight drive.
Well, it's like 4 hours, but he'll probably do 28 like bolt action. Okay. But I'm kind of curious about maybe getting into Flames of War. Like,
well, I was about to say, go to a Nerds account on Colts, and she's got all the vehicles of World War II and 28 that you'll ever need.
Mm-hmm.
So all free if you have a 3D printer.
Yeah, she's very talented. She's very talented.
So here you go, guys.
I look at people like her. and I'm like, I need to be more of a doer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I just put together 6 goals, so that's a start.
6 goals out of what, 150?
Oh my god, I don't even want to let's not. I'm going to be probably playing like DBA rather than Hail Caesar with them, like so like I don't have to paint up that many.
If you're playing a war game, miniature war game, and you have problems painting, you don't need to be doing block troop fucking games, dude.
Yeah, but I always do this to myself. I mean, even when I was making electronic music, I was like, nope, it's got to be all analog, recorded to tape, one take, like.
Were you a synthwave guy?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude. I dig synthwave.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love that Reaganite wallpaper.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there's some good stuff like a Gunship and Magic Sword and
Kick
Puncher. I haven't heard that one.
Kick Puncher is like the best named band of all history is like Kick Puncher.
It's all in the ball.
I really like this guy like Michael Oakley. Like he does really poppy, very 80s kind of
that's what I like.
Miami Vice kind of.
Oh, like Jam Hammer, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean. Splitting the party is actually one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love driving my players nuts with it. Giving them these choices that, because then it allows you to like do some stuff. Like throw like a really tough monster, but just one of them at the two guys that went over here instead of trying to throw like a bunch of them. Now there's just these two characters got to deal with the troll instead of the whole party dealing with like a couple of trolls, because it takes some of the intimacy of that particular combat out when it's just a grand melee, when it's just like two people trying to fight this monster that's probably a little bit too much for them, but I'm rooting for him anyways.
But those are interesting circumstances too, because a lot of times it's not about fighting the monster; it's trying to get the hell out, like get away from it.
Which we need to bring back.
Yeah, that's
players
great.
thinking they can kill everything that they come across because they came across it. That lesson needs to be learned by every group out there.
I mean, the thing is, if you run away from a pretty girl, like what makes you think you can kill a dragon every time?
Role playing.
Yeah, I am winning Walmart. I'm trying anyway. I'm going to be probably playing like the Bellus Antiquitatis and hordes of the things with it. So I won't have to paint millions. I probably have to paint about 100. But I'm still at the stage of like learning to put these things together again with like spinal problems. So
are those 15 mils or 20 mils? What do you use?
28 mil. 28
mil.
They're
28, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to use a slightly bigger base width of about 80 millimeters.
Because DBM, that's usually 15s, right? Isn't it usually?
A lot of people play it that way. But I mean, if you're into like AD&D and like swords and spells and chainmail and stuff, to me, those Wargames research group books are like the wargaming equivalent. You know what I mean? From across the pond. Like there's something perfect about DBX gaming where it's almost like chess, It's really simple.
It's a good system.
And all about your placement and just seeing what happens.
I never,
the army lists are all there, like there's everything from like 4000 BC to like 1525 AD. It's like crazy.
I was never big into the block troop combat because I just didn't like the kind of combat. I like more.
I like element based. I like element based where it's just a few figures based rather than like huge.
It's like
compromise.
I see these guys playing like Mutt. Like Mutt's getting into like Napoleonics, and he's getting into or not Napoleonics. He's getting into like
Derek.
Historicals. But like I know guys that want to play Napoleonics. I'm like, yeah, dude. So what company? Oh, Warlord. I'm like, whoa, are you doing the small? No, 28 millimeter. What the fuck? First of all, you're gonna go broke buying 28 millimeter, Napoleonics.
That's why you bathtub it. You know what I mean? You say 12 figures. 12 figures is a regiment. It's still.
But that's still a lot. 12 cavalry.
Well, 6 cavalry, probably more like 6 cavalry, 12 infantry, But you put, say, 4 bases of 3. Like, I like multi-basing because it makes setting up a game really nice and storing them really nice. But I can see Derek's posted something that sounds a bit more serious, so should probably.
I'm sorry to hear it, Derek.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think I've ever spoken to Derek, but if it's
nothing but good vibes.
Derek's a good guy from Nathan's channel and a good friend of this channel. Really sorry to hear that. We don't need details if it's personal. Rest assured, we'll put in a word for the big guy for you. I don't even know what to say. It sounds serious.
Yeah, it does. It does. So take care.
It's in times in those rough times in my life, and there have been many. I've always found that gaming and the community that has sprung around me has been so positive and so energizing at those rough times that I was glad that I was a part of that community. So,
yeah, it's therapeutic. It takes my mind off, keeps the wolf from the door.
yeah.
Definitely. That Hordes of Things, I think, has probably the best sci-fi and fantasy reading list. I mean, there are so many things that I wouldn't even know about without that reading list at the back of the book.
Really?
Yeah. So many things that got me interested in as a kid, like Conan and Vlad Taltos and all those other, Barsoom and stuff. I found out about all of that through the Hordes of the Things reading list.
That's awesome.
Because even when I was a kid, I was like, this Warhammer thing is a scam. I'm going to find another rule set. And there it was.
It's been around, the Horde thing. That's been around for a while.
They're going to do a new version soon. They're working on it. They're going to bring DBA and Hordes of the Things together. I like Hordes of the Things because you can literally play anything with it. I sent Shadow a picture of someone who did an army of rocks versus animated rocks versus toy spiders.
Earth elementals versus your giant spider army. That's great.
There was literally a Spider-Man action figure who's freaking hysterical as their leader or something. They're giant.
Because the troop definitions are so broad, and the differences between their abilities are enough that a unit of light horse can really just be guys in a truck with a machine gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So guys, I found something from my youth today. Did you guys ever have this? It's
you're pondering your orb.
Yeah, so I turn it on. Let's see if it works. Oh man.
How many speeds does it have?
Just one. Okay, so you ask it a question. So Shadow, ask him a question.
Am I getting anything cool? Am I getting anything cool in the mail tomorrow?
It's destiny.
It's destiny.
Use magic.
Woo. All right, Bo, ask it a question.
Yes or no question?
Yeah. Come on.
I don't have anything.
Oh, come on, man.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Should I go get some food?
Yes or no? He's not going to say 15 words. Is Bo ever going to finish that mini that he's been working on for 3 months?
Concentrate and ask again.
Will he ever finish that mini?
Be more specific.
Oh, shit. The sister battle with huge titties.
Absolutely.
You know what, Brian? Check this out. I got one of these. Does the same freaking thing I got at a Dollar General.
Oh, yeah.
But the button doesn't work. So I got to stick a metal thing inside the damn thing to get it to work.
Yeah, but this is a freaking wizard, dude, in a crystal ball. That's awesome.
Yeah, I used to have a theremin that was based on the same thing.
Unclear. Ask again.
Well, this was a kind of more of a shitty kind of. It was just a filter that would open and close as you move your hand over the voltaic receptor. So you plug a guitar or a keyboard into it, and you could add a wah effect, but just by going, yeah.
No, why does a medieval wizard beat like R2D2?
Because he can.
Magic 8 Ball is better.
He's got a sample and hold circuit.
Yeah, but Magic 8 Ball doesn't talk. That guy's talking to you, and there's effects.
Magic 8 Ball. Am I stupid? Stares into bowling ball. Nice.
Magic 8 Balls are all right, but they're really hard to extract.
Oh. This level of geek is my fear I am never going to reach.
Come on, Mac. You get there. 30 years in. I'm 40 plus years in. You know you're a geek, dude. You just don't say anything.
Yeah, you got to arrive at
You're
the
a
like
self-loather. Don't be self-loather. Embrace the geek.
collecting. When
I was
you
a
add
little bit
model
wounded.
trains, when you add
Oh, I
model
love
trains to it, you'll get into all the circuitry and like
That's true.
soldering and stuff.
Hey, you leave model trains alone.
I love model
Yeah,
trains.
but I mean, like, I'd love
Who
to
doesn't?
integrate them into a
Done.
war
Call
game.
this one done.
Okay,
Nice.
2 more.
Yeah, I actually kind of got my start through model trains.
Yeah, Ree always says to me, you know, if you get into that, I'm gonna be behind you 100%, right? I'm like, oh, don't tempt me.
Oh,
What?
I'll have
What?
one
You
running
haven't
around
pulled
the
the
house.
trigger already?
No, I'm
Dude,
waiting for
You've actually
something
got an okay. What are
complimentary.
you waiting for?
I know. I'm waiting for money, but like I probably do it at like 6 mil, so I could have like Boer War skirmishes over the
Was that like N scale?
cart. Yeah. Oh, I
yeah.
think it's like or something like that. Or
HO? No, it's
Mini,
it's
I am painting up
it's
a
in.
storm here.
I'm waiting for my glue to dry. Mini Walmart. If that is
his
your real
eight-
name.
What should I print up next, guys?
Some
Here-
hey,
My
Brian.
slave girls.
Here's one
Some
I did
big
earlier.
no, dude. Print up some alternate sculpt Sisters of Battle.
Oh, I got tons of that. You want some?
Hey, where
Well,
did you get the? Where did you get? Hey, James, where did you get the Hungar plushie?
Yeah, I know. He's my little gnome. This is Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. Oh, that's good stuff. He's out there in the collective farm, out in the collective yard.
Yeah, sipping a cocktail.
I've got. I
Cracking the
used
whip.
I used to have a gnome, like garden gnome thing. It was a gnome stripper on a pole, and of course that shit got stolen because it was so awesome.
My uncle was involved in a big.
That or your fiance get away with it.
Nah, she
My
paid.
uncle
That's
was
what
involved
happened.
in
I
a
think
big-
that's what happened to my Hungar shirt. I think Jackie's mom swiped it.
My
But
uncle
why?
did a big prank at University of Sydney where they used to steal everyone's garden gnomes, and then one day they put like all 500 of them out on the university lawn.
Bastards.
How do I feel about that?
Yeah, mixed feelings. I mean, my grandfather was furious at them like in public and then laughing about it privately. He was like, "Oh Jesus," you know.
Get building.
It's like,
and
you're in
climbing.
so much trouble.
Dude, Brian, I just finished one. I'm sorry that I can't crank them out as fast as you can, dude.
No one can crank it out faster
It's
than me.
okay.
No
Brian,
one
you
cranks
need
it.
speed
No one
paint.
cranks it like Mini Warmut.
He does. He really gets in there and cranks the hell out of it.
He's cranking it all day.
He is a beast. Oh man, what fucking broke?
I'll have to unsubscribe to one
Hey,
of
would
my
you
like
say that
sexy,
he's the master of
sexy
hand to glam
lady.
combat?
I'll have to unsubscribe to one of my sexy lady mini painters so that I can keep my number at 69 and
Oh man.
add mini Walmart.
One of those sexy lady mini painters isn't really a lady.
So like, okay, so
Yeah,
Holy
probably,
Diver, right?
probably.
Holy Diver's he's great. He's a fucking nut. He was talking about he got on this big rant about this one girl, right? She has a Warhammer like channel or whatever, and
Yeah,
she's painted,
Dungeons
she's
of
got
Discord.
one video of her painting one mini, and she's got like 800,000 subscribers. It's been seen 5 billion times, and he's just like he's fuming. It's great.
It's
so
not. It's nothing personal. I'd just rather look at them than him.
Oh, I can start dressing better if it'll help.
Oh yeah, I've got to find my.
I can put my face on before every show.
It's like I was holding up a gold that I painted the other day and showing it to Ree, and I was like, "Don't you think he looks a little bit like me?" And she's like, "Nah, you're one of the Romans, especially with that nose."
That's what I need to do. We all get, since Hungar got a mini made after him, we should all try to like somehow come up with ways.
I'm
to make
actually
minis
working on it. I'll let you know how it goes, but I insist on metal. It's going to be me and Jackie back to back, like, fighting off a horde of zombies or dragon men or some shit.
Oh, mine's gonna be, I'm a big fat, like a U.S. soldier with a stogie in my mouth, with a Thompson in my hand, siring over a bunch of defeated Nazi she-wolves.
Give me Australian light horse lancers, 1902, just like my great granduncle Alex, photographed in front of the pyramids.
That's cool.
Yeah. My aunt is sending me a cigarette case from World War One, actually, that my grandfather had.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's cool.
I was like, that must be worth a bit. And she's like, no, they're very common. I was like, yeah, but it's worth a lot to me. It's got all the campaign locations printed on the silverware. They all got one, as a thank you. It says like Egypt, Palestine. I know we're not supposed to use that word anymore, but that's what it says. And France, Britain, Australia, and Montenegro, actually. But yeah, really cool.
How about you, Mac? What would your mini look like?
Like of me?
Yeah.
Well, pretty much like my picture there, I guess.
Yeah, give him a Wild West vibe. I mean, it's like Shadow has to be a witch hunter. He has to be a witch hunter.
No, are we talking about if we could choose whatever character we wanted to be?
No, it's a mini of you, but in what guise would it be? Would it just be your picture, or would it be like you punching the Red Skull in the face, or destroying a whatever?
Probably my little head poking up out of the top of a IS-3 or something.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Big smile on your face. You're like,
oh yeah, little puff of smoke coming out of the barrel.
That'd be cool. Bo, did you answer it?
Got nothing. I'm not that cool.
Man, Bo, I know Bo's a cool motherfucker. He just like,
I can see you as like World War One U.S. Marine in Bellow Wood.
You could put me in my gi, I guess. I live in it half the time anyway.
Oh, he could be back Lee, like fighting ninjas.
Get you in like a, Enter the Dragon, something like that.
Enter the Dragon, Chinese, but still cool.
I was saying to someone the other day. There's a lot of really cool women painters out there, and I'm like, and if that's not your thing, there are a lot of women adjacent painters as well.
Word.
That's funny. I mean, it is ridiculous though, but I mean, it's a great point. It's like you have these females that like were only one or two videos, and they're just like rock stars.
Hey, what's up, Brian James? And Mini Warmut, hold on. Says my mini of me will have me wielding a line trimmer with spinning metal blades instead of the string.
Caption: get off my lawn. No, really, get off my lawn.
Get off my property.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah, I'd have to do something Aussie. Like, I'm hardly cut out to fight a war, but just something in reference to my ancestors who were a little bit more capable than me.
Yeah, mine would definitely be some weird war thing.
I wouldn't mind being a royalist,
the Wild West,
royalist cavalry.
But
with like
we changed the system.
Well, my grandparents fought fascists, and my dad fought communists. So that's pretty good lineage.
Yeah, I think so. That's what we call melting the horseshoe.
Not the bushwhacker.
Not the bushwhacker.
Weed whacker goblins.
I think about half my ancestors fought
All right,
the.
it's been 2 hours for me, and I got to get some food.
All
Take care,
right,
Bo.
enjoy your
I
vittles.
got,
Most of
I
us
got
will
you
see you
winning.
tomorrow. Get some rest, buddy.
Yeah, I got to work on the game. Got to
I'll
get
send
some.
you that. I'll send you that thing tomorrow, Bo.
You're fine.
Okay.
Hey,
You're fine. If
Bo,
you
real
like it,
quick
you
before
like
you
it. I'm
go,
not.
if you see a copy of the GURPS Horse Clans, let me know.
I'll bet you can get the PDF for free.
You think?
Yeah, let me take a look. I'll see what I can get for you.
All right, I just want to read it. You know, I don't even care if I actually own it, but I've been wanting to read those books again, and then I noticed it on eBay, but I'm like, $50? Yeah, not doing that.
50.
Jeez.
All right, well, let me see what I can find tonight. Let me see. I'll go yo-ho a little bit, and I'll see what I can find. All right. Everybody out there, thanks. Give all these guys a like and a subscribe on their channels too, because they're good people. Let's see if we can get
Except
Brian up to 500 by the end of the year.
Doesn't have a channel.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I could
And the
use
rest of
that.
you guys, get out there and make some content, man. Even if you're just doing it on your cell phone. All right, I'm off.
All right, buddy.
Take
Take
care,
it easy,
Bo.
man.
Holman, you there?
You know he's playing video games.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's true.
Especially now that like they're so advanced that all the old games are like cheap.
Hey, darling.
It's true.
That's what I like.
Raven, what's up, girl?
Hey, Raven. Mystical
Nope, I got
forces
private chat.
abound.
Who that is? No, Holman, your microphone is not working.
He's been talking this whole time.
It could be right now. StreamYard's having a problem with Android devices. So if you're using an Android device, you got another option.
I'm an android.
There he is.
Okay, there we go.
There we
Yep.
go.
All right.
Do you have a nice nap?
Me? No, I talked to my son. You know, that's the only thing I haven't put on my channel is my son's stuff. Well, that and his mother
Nah,
tried
just
to destroy
too bad.
Trump stuff. You know, there was a lot of anger in that woman in 2016.
Yeah, no time for video games, just live streams. You know, yeah, next year I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams. So get ready, folks.
Yeah, I don't even have a proper computer at the moment, but I'll definitely be getting one, and then you'll see. I'll be writing my own stock music that you can use, so you don't have to use the bloody same 5 bits of YouTube music.
Oh, speaking of which, James, Jackie needs some music coming up, so maybe you could work together with him for his last.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I just need
Do
something.
you have any
to do it on.
albums, dude? Did you produce any albums like in a band or anything?
I've been in and out of bands over the years and like DJ'd a bit, but you know, nothing remarkable. Supported some big acts, but that's about it. Like nothing really to write home about. I'm trying to get back into it in the next year because I think the funny thing is like getting into the gaming thing has given me way more ideas than hanging out with quote unquote cool people in nightclubs ever did. Like, you know.
I'm going to take offense to that because these are some of the coolest people I've ever met.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, it's like you
Dude, I
hang
worked in
out with,
Hollywood.
like,
I know exactly what you mean.
you hang out with
Yeah.
other arty types thinking it'll rub off on you, and you realize they just want to do blow.
And the only kind of rubbing off that's going to happen is
You realize they
not
just
the
want to
kind you
do
want to write
photo
home
shoots.
about.
They just want to do photo shoots and take drugs.
Speaking
know.
of cool people, welcome to the show.
When I
And
was
speaking of
roadieing for
people who
some,
need to hurry up and make a channel, right, guys?
when I was roadieing for some bands, I think the most popular pickup line was like, "Hey, you want some coke?"
Yeah, all of that nonsense. It wears on you. I mean, it's funny because I see my brother going through the same thing. He's a few years younger than me, and I'm like, you know what, dude? Moving to the country, working for a country newspaper. That's the life, dude. Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
I
Go for it.
still need to get my scythe. I need to go buy one. I just don't want to spend the money yet. But
Well, you
it's
know what
coming.
you can do? You could fake your death, wait for death to throw up, and punch him in the nuts like in Red
Like
Dwarf.
You know what? I'm more of like catch him in the bag, like jump in the bag.
Like lay a tripwire or something so he falls over.
Well, see, I'm more of a reincarnation person. So this whole idea of when people commit suicide, I'm like, do you really want to go through puberty again that quickly? That's the way I feel about it. It's like, I'll try holding it off for a while.
Well, as a kind of borderline esoteric lapsed Catholic of sorts, like we don't do bullycide in this house, but I think if you are going to end it, there's only one way, and that's the manliest way, and that's to fill a bathtub with baked beans and eat yourself to death.
I was more of a confetti cannon person myself.
Anything less is cowardice. Anything less is cowardice.
Yikes.
I'm just confetti cannons, I'm just waiting for, I'm waiting to teach my son so it can be like the Sith and he can strike me down, so he can take my place at some point.
It's
good
inevitable.
point, Percy. It will soon be time to talk about 2024 gaming plans. Anybody got any cool shit coming up next year? Besides this guy?
That's true.
I got so many ideas, and
I'm gonna definitely keep it weird. That's for sure.
I got so many ideas, and I'd love to share them, but I feel like when I inevitably flake out on some of them, I'm gonna feel bad, right?
Jinx it.
One of the biggest things is and we were talking to Shadow about this with his zine, is I really want to help demystify historical gaming for people because, if I can do it, anyone can. Honestly, I'm a freaking retard. So,
okay, you know what? I want to see that on my desk by the end of the week.
I'll get started, but I want to take some photos as well. And,
absolutely! I love that idea, though.
I'll show you that. I'll show you the text. Because I feel like it's set up as this thing that people can't get into, and I'm like, this is crazy. Of course you can. It's like, but what if I get the colors wrong? What if I get the buttons wrong? What if I get the details wrong? It's like, oh, please, this is all gatekeepy stuff that you need to ignore.
The only people you ever play that are like that are the same guys that you've been playing with for 30 years.
I haven't met a single person who's like that. Like Fred, who does a lot of historicals in the kind of DBX thing. I'm like, Fred, I love your ancient Egyptian type stuff because you paint them like fantasy minis. They're bright and colorful, and we don't really know what they were freaking wearing anyway.
So I was listening to Modern. What was it? The guy that owns, I think, Renegade Studios and a few of these others. But he does the reenactments and things, and he talks about the Middle Ages being much more colorful than they're portrayed. He said people with yellows and all sorts of stuff that we don't do. Same thing with castles. Castles used to have murals in them, and they would paint everything, and it wasn't this dreary stuff that we associate.
Exactly. There's way more dyes. I mean, even the more you read about this stuff, the more you demystify the past, the more it's going to influence you and give you ideas for fantastical gaming as well. The reality, it turns out, is just as wild as any 40K lore or anything like that, So I want people to feel like they can do it. And, it's like, bear in mind, it's like one of the easiest things to start with is a civil conflict. Because a box of minis is two sides.
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't have to have a historical background to the game that you're playing. You just have a bunch of Romans fighting a bunch of Gauls. It doesn't have to be a certain battle. It doesn't have to be a certain T&E.
It was happening all the time, all over the empire.
You just get Japanese minis, and they all fought amongst each other, and they all dressed.
Correct. American Civil War. Very little difference in the uniforms, other than the color.
Yeah.
You guys. I mean, it's so funny because it's so common to hear ACW, but I still call it the Civil War. Like in the States, it's kind of
Sure.
referred to that. But I mean, in our community, in our gaming community, it is considered American Civil War.
Yeah,
It's
well, that's
fu- well,
true.
it's funny
Because otherwise
'cause,
you can
like-
get like War of the Roses and stuff. And
No, I get it. I'm just
I don't
it's
know
just-
I don't know if you've ever seen Leon T66. He's like a really talented painter. He's on YouTube, and like he had his little granddaughter, and he was like, "So what are we painting today?" And she's like, "ACW." It was like really cute.
well. See, and the other part is you're talking about games, skirmish games. Instead of trying to get these big, massive battles, which take a lot of money, like look, you do 6 or 7 aside. You just pretend that you're, Clint Eastwood and Angel Eyes.
That's not a
and
skirmish.
just-
That's not a
and- yeah,
skirmish.
You just
But
get a
the
few
one
of
thing
them.
about skirmish games is that's a hard thing to do in certain, like if
Yeah.
you're playing historical skirmish,
Right there with you, Mac.
that's a
Dawn
little bit
Patrol.
harder
Dawn
because
Patrol, man.
armies didn't really. I mean, there were skirmishers in like even block armies and stuff, but like just a handful of dudes fighting a handful that didn't really happen too much.
Oh,
Unless
that's
it's
more-
like
wait,
bandits
wait,
and shit.
wait, wait,
Bandits.
that's what
Absolutely
started
it
to
did.
get Battle of
No,
Gettysburg.
not like just like a band of Romans, and a band. Of
Absolutely,
Gauls.
it did. Haven't you? Like every empire has a frontier, my friend.
Well, okay, that's what I'm saying. But it'd have to be a specific kind of like story to do that, not just a general. It would
You
have
don't
to be
have to
like.
create a story. Just play the damn game.
Well,
and
that's
then take
true.
the
I
story
mean, what's
afterwards.
what's 90% of like conflict is cattle rustling, right? Even in the modern era,
It's true.
like I mean, oil
Resource
rustling as opposed
collection
to
and
cattle
stuff.
rustling.
Well,
But
I mean, but if you really want to, then you just you can put Union soldiers in Louisiana and they're fighting a bunch of drunkard thugs. Come on, you can do that for American Civil War. I mean, it's not that
Absolutely.
hard to just throw stuff out there. And skirmish games are kind of fun, and you can make them asymmetric, so they don't have to do all of that.
the thing is, when I started getting into English Civil War, I was like,
Like
oh
this
my
one,
god,
right,
how am I
guys?
going to paint these guys?
Anybody ever
Ooh.
see this one?
Oh
No,
no.
cool.
What is it?
But-
It's like
You could use that for that.
1974. It's the new 3rd edition, the Old West Gunfight Rules, 1860 to 1900 skirmish war games.
But I mean, look at what happened with the Indians.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that's perfect
Native
because
Americans,
most of
thank
those
you.
were skirmish.
Take
Most
care,
of those were
Dean.
skirmish. Yep.
Hope to see you back next week or tomorrow morning, right?
But even with English Civil War, like I started researching like what colors the uniform should be, and like I was basically like, turns out I can paint them however I want.
It's true. It's true.
But that's what I think comes down to. It's like, look, it's your game. Play it.
Hey, the show
And-
stream.
Did you?
No,
The only time it really matters is if you're playing into like a competition tournament crap, which
Hell,
honestly,
even then, if you're playing this, let's say bolt action,
Thanks,
they're
Mac.
not setting up tables to represent
But
realistic.
even World War II and stuff like that, it's like uniforms fade, the weather affects the paint. It's like you don't have to get the saturation 100% right. You know what I mean? Like,
How you doing, Al?
well, that's the difference between the gamer and the reenactor.
I've never met a historical person who's like that. I mean, I've met people who
I
will
have.
give you advice, but I've never met anyone who's like, these buttons are wrong, you must leave.
Well, I mean, they don't like tell you to leave, but they'll point out the shortcomings of your. It's like especially when it comes to like Napoleonics, English Civil
Well,
War.
Napoleonics is a weird one because it's so documented, right? It's like really heavily documented, and there are heaps of color plates. But even when you look at the color plates, you're like, okay, so the Brits had some guys in green, some guys in red. The French had guys in like bloody turquoise. It like there's quite a lot of room to move.
But
I've never met a rivet counter. That's the thing, and I think it's like something that we build up.
Rivet counter. Yeah.
I think it's something we
everything
build
should
up in
be-
our heads to kind of stop ourselves from like exploring. And I want you to explore. I want you to explore everything. But they're not.
God, that sounded so
Ree says that medieval recreationists are like that, but I see them wearing shit from like 5 different periods all the time. So if they are, they're wrong. You know.
I don't know. I think it's just that you're a fan of the time period and you know the history and the knowledge and you just want to. It's just a way for I think a lot of guys to just show that they're knowledgeable about this period. You know what I mean?
I mean, you get that in RPGs. It's like RPGs kind of piss me off sometimes because it is such a culture of like one-upmanship, right? Like it's like actually this is how it has to be done. And I'm like,
hey, wait. That only applies to people in their that have been playing for like 5 to 10 years. By the time that you get to our age, you're like, yeah, whatever.
It's true.
It's in the rules. Like, just look it up.
It's like the DM who is now a professional DM that charges money to run games. That's been gaming for 5 years now. And
don't let me become that jaded, please. You know, there's more room. There's way more room to move than people realize.
Well, but the real point of it comes down to as you get older, you'd like to play games as an excuse to be with your friends, rather than trying to say, "I'm going to stop the entire game and I'm going to rules lawyer something." And you're just like, "Look, this is what the rule actually says, but I'll run with whatever you do." I mean,
I have the exact opposite experience. I find wargamers to be like naturally straightforward, very helpful. Like this is how you do this. It's like the role players that I struggle with because it's like almost.
How long
like
have you been playing though?
5 minutes. You tap into like almost like people's like high school trauma when you disagree with them about.
So James, I mean, I play with like me, with Mage's Musings and everybody else, and everyone has a different play style. They even have different house rules, even though we're playing the same characters, and we're all just like, yeah, whatever. You just tell us if we're dead or not. And so like one of them allows you to go to -10, the other one is dead at 0, and it's all the same characters. We still play with the same.
I have to like stridently disagree with Mini Warmer. Like, if you can listen to 8 hours of lore about how Space Marines are made, but you can't watch a half-hour documentary on the American War of Independence, you might just be anti-intellectual.
The Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
In other words.
Like, if you have all the time in the world for things that some neckbeard made up, and you're deliberately keeping yourself quarantined from, like, finding out the past, like, I don't know, I feel like you're missing out.
I think a lot of people have some sort of aversion to, like, researching. I mean, you can go as hard as just going to Wikipedia, read 2 paragraphs to get about a war.
I haven't done
That's all you need. But you know something about it now.
I'm going to say this much because I'm different. I'm different than you, James, because all of these games are what encouraged me to actually do my history research. I probably know more about Napoleonics because I kept playing the Battle of Waterloo, and the same thing with Gettysburg.
When it comes to Napoleonics, you probably know more about that than I do. I'm like, Napoleonics is the one thing that I am afraid of getting into because it's like so many nations, and it's like, are you doing before he fucked up in Russia or after? Because like the army's completely different, right? Like,
it's weird because you've got armies fighting in nations that aren't even in the present. In Spain, you got the French and the Brits fighting in Spain, but where are the Spanish?
Yeah, well, the Spanish are being oppressed by the French, trying to impose the Napoleonic Code on a traditional Catholic country, right?
It's crazy.
But I mean, but a lot of it is you can do partisans because there are always partisans running around doing crap. There are always people stealing stuff. That's why I said skirmish is the way to go initially. And they did send out squads to go do whatever. They had to fight someone at some point. I mean, look at the Battle of Gettysburg. That was fought over a pair of shoes. That's really like Gettysburg.
Well, yeah, in a way, yeah, absolutely.
And then all the armies kept coming in. So later on, you just add more and more units as they all pile in. You know,
I mean, the trick is to make the research. The trick is to make the research fun. I mean, I heard you, Brian, the other week when I wasn't on, talking about all these great World War II movies, like The Cruel Sea. What a movie!
Yeah.
You know, it's like cinema. Like, I don't necessarily want it to be 100% accurate. I want to be able to bring in fantasy elements in the future. I want to be able to just, you know, have a taste of different eras and like, you know, so for me, like watching a Hollywood movie and doing a Hollywoodized game with lots of action is preferable to doing something really dry. I'll play a hex and counter game if I want a perfect simulation.
No, come on.
You
James wants to play the Final Countdown.
Hell yeah.
You know.
And I would contend that the Nimitz itself could take out.
I love pineapple pizza. Bring it.
The Japanese invasion.
As a matter of fact, I had some today.
I like pineapple pizza too. I mean, it was obviously invented by a gay guy, but God bless him. Anyway. No straight man was like, you know what this pizza needs? Pineapple.
Sausage
that was
bananas.
definitely a gay invention.
I would think it would be sausage and bananas. That would be my view on that.
Okay, well, that's
never had
good.
bananas on pizza. That might be good.
I'm not,
especially if you throw some red pepper and onions on there. Yeah,
but no. I mean, let's be honest. Is one aircraft carrier is larger than most nations' entire air forces.
No, I mean it couldn't defeat the entire Japanese Navy. I mean, they just run out of missiles and fuel and that kind of shit. But I mean, it definitely jack up the invasion force.
But people forget about it's a carrier battle group. It's never just one.
Well, no,
carrier.
I think it was only the carrier got zapped. It wasn't the group. It wasn't the group.
It's just like whenever people talk about robbing Fort Knox. They ignore the military base directly across from the depository. You know.
Yeah, well, Odd Job got inside Fort Knox.
Actually, that was one of the better ones where they actually did talk about Fort Knox.
Yeah, pussy galore. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pussy galore. Does that mean that like it's really big or
just? It's as much as you can handle. That's what it means.
Oh, okay.
Glorious.
So, 15 minutes behind the nightclub.
Hey, you know what it is? It's just the same as an 80-year-old woman with her cats. That's what pussy galore is.
Whatever. I don't know.
I love it. I love it when we get blue, and then I feel so guilty about it afterwards. Like, did I go too far? Like, you know what I mean?
I always got to keep mine simmered because I know you guys have sensitive sensibilities, so I can't go full Brian. I got to keep it back.
Actually, I will say this much: is when Brian plays off Cindy Smallberries, I'm just like, I'm like, we all just need to copy this, and we all just need to play an all women's campaign with the most ridiculous tropes.
The ladies who shoot their lunch.
The
ladies who shoot their lunch.
They are such misogynistic bastards. I'm bad.
We are not misogynistic. We just don't like Cindy. That's
oh my god.
That doesn't make us misogynistic if we just hate one woman and love all the others.
Rex is a nice fellow. I think Cindy's kind of starting to fall for Rex.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know what's worse.
It's like
I do live on another
such
planet.
a handsome young man. Rex is a Shadow's character, if you guys don't know. So
yes, that's yes, and I'll be honest, Brian. Once you came into the game, it actually made a lot more fun. It's like, though I could tell that you're getting kind of frustrated. Why are you guys doing this? It's like we're fine.
You guys are like spinning plate, like just spinning in circles. I'm like, let's do something. No, we gotta get some booty.
No, I mean when we were all in the combat and like people go down and you were getting. I was like, Brian, just calm down, relax. We could all get.
I got bayoneted by my own fucking party member.
No, this was last game. Game, this was like last week when you went off, and I could tell that well, why aren't you bringing this one? It's like, because that character isn't, the player isn't here. Well, he should be here. It's like, just
Damn
roll with
I'm
it,
like,
Brian.
we need the support. We need 5 guys instead of 4.
I
I was
We need
trying
World War
trying
II.
hard.
We need
I was
weird-
trying
we
hard to
need
get
weird-
Bo to play that guy.
We need weird World War II after dark. That's what we need. Because they'd be like, no,
It's
no,
fun.
no,
I'm
no.
fun. I'm fun.
There's no limit.
That's right. There's no limit. Anything goes on the table except chaotic evil characters. Everything else is game.
No, chaotic evil and chaotic neutral. Those are 2 you like. No,
I can do chaotic neutral.
Chaotic Evil is
Yeah.
like Trash Can Man in The Stand.
actually,
Yeah.
you know what chaotic evil is like? Every character that not every. It's every player that I had to deal with when I was 14 through
Yeah.
16.
You're
That
a
the first
kid,
thing they would do is they would come in and you'd all be first level, and he comes in and wants to kill off the party to show how powerful his character is. And the first thing, and they always pick Drow, and they didn't realize that I had a Drugar who could throw. And then they're like, oh, I'm like, yep, I throw my axe into your darkness and hit you, and you're dead. And they're like, oh, well, you're not so tough now, are
In
you?
my experience, it was always a barbarian that like just
Oh.
would go crazy and start.
A lot of China was also Austin Powers.
Oh yeah. Was that the black chick?
Which one?
And
No, I don't think so.
can't remember.
Which
Those
one
were
was it?
funny though, by the way. Those are good. I was a big
Those
James
are good
Bond
ones.
fan until they neutered him.
Yeah, he's a pussy now.
Yeah,
Isn't he dead? I thought he died.
He's dead now.
Yeah.
He'll
What?
be. Yeah, he'll
Wait,
be a black female Martian from planet Zagreb or some shit. Who the
Hey,
No one wants to see Candace Owens like climbing oil rig, like chasing after Sean Bean. No one
Well,
wants to see that.
I don't know
well,
about that. I'd pay money to see that.
I'd pay money to
here's the
see
thing
parts
that-
of Candace Owens.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Brian can self-identify as a black woman lesbian. And believe
when
it
I
or
fill
not,
out for applications, that's what I am.
actually, speaking of which, half joking, Brian, unfortunately, one of our inspectors has stage 4 cancer, so there may be a
Oh.
job opening up in a month or 2.
Yeah, man, just let me know, dude.
Okay.
Sure.
I thought you had a job.
Hell no, dude. I couldn't do it, man. I got rhabdo.
Oh, that's right. I
I'm
thought
in the
you.
hospital. I couldn't.
No, I thought they kept you on. I didn't know that you left.
No, I quit.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
First,
So-
giving us a challenge.
Working's for chumps. Just get a
I will
job.
say this much: if you apply for any government grants or anything, just put yourself as a black trans lesbian, okay, and you're good. And here's the thing: they're not allowed to question you.
That's true.
I can tell you this much: is if you go over to like the Farm Service Agency, whatever you claim to be is what
That
you
sounds
are.
interesting, Percy.
Oh, yeah. You know what though?
Mm.
Is I hate saying this because we're talking about characters alignments, and people forget
Mm.
D&D is a cosmic battle, and you're picking a side by doing that. But if you really want to pick good alignments, or what I mean by alignments that actually match characters and stories,
Now,
Go to
Idris
Palladium.
Elba would be a cool James Bond. I'd be down with that. He'd be a good.
But I mean, but go with Palladium because they have better alignments on how characters would act. Whereas in D&D, alignment is really you're picking a side in the cosmic battle.
I don't even
Here's a
think that's
question.
a thing anymore. Is it in 5th? Do they even have alignments?
No, they let
Here's
it
a
go.
here's the
Fifth-
question: Doctor Who is like an American production. Who's
Doctor
playing
Who?
Doctor Who? Who's playing Doctor Who? My money is
Doctor
on
Who
Danny.
would never work in America, man.
My money's on Danny Kaye.
Weird
I
Al
reckon Danny
Yankovic.
Kaye would be like the best American Doctor Who, and
No,
you get
no, no,
Mr.
no.
Smith from Lost in Space to do the Master.
No. It's Weird Al Yankovic is the Doctor.
There you go.
Americans ruin everything.
That's what we do. We try to.
We
try to make.
Weird Al could do it all. You know, that's the great thing about Weird Al. He could dress it up and.
Weird Al might be a good master.
Hey! Oh, if you've been watching.
Who was the guy who played Ernest? I bet Ernest would have made a great doctor.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke would be a great Doctor Who. You're talking about what's his name? Oh,
Barney.
actually, really,
Yeah, Jim
really
Varney.
underrated.
Jim Varney.
Yeah, Jim Varney, really underrated actor. Actually,
He's a great actor.
Like,
He was a great actor.
he had a lot of depth. He had a lot of depth to him. I'm a big Jim Varney fan because he was a very complex
I love
character.
Ernest Scared Stupid. I fucking love that movie. It's like in my top 10, dude. I'm not lying. I love it.
Yeah.
The master would be Christopher Walken.
Oh yes.
Or
Doctor, we meet again.
Nicolas Cage as the Doctor.
Yes, there you go. Nicolas Cage and Christopher Walken.
Well, he'd probably be really into it. He'd probably be
he
really
would.
into it, actually. I bet he already likes it.
I
He's in Australia, Ric Flair as the Doctor. See, this is the kind of iconoclasm that I cannot stand.
What?
Ric
Hey, wait a
Flair
minute,
as
wait a
the
minute.
Doctor. I'm coming to your house. It's like, why? Like, I mean, I can't complain. It's not like you guys are ruining it any more than the BBC
Would you
already
prefer
have.
Macho
He
Man
didn't do
Randy
anything. The
Savage?
BBC ruined it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, James, you asked us who would play, and so we're just throwing out names on this,
Ooh, Vincent Price.
The problem is you asked what American would play it best, and I keep all the people I keep thinking of are British.
No.
Maybe Chris Warner. Chris Warner would be a good Doctor.
Oh, see, I'm trying to pick the most ridiculous ones possible.
Just to make the vein on my head pop out even more.
Well,
Here's a question.
Every time we mention a name, I can tell a little bit dies inside of you.
There's nothing left.
What's your favorite Doctor? What's your favorite Doctor?
I actually like number one a lot.
I'm number two. I like the Hobo Doctor.
Yeah, he's good. I like
He's my
Pertwee a lot. I like Baker. It kind of falls off the horse after Baker, in my view.
I didn't like
a little
5,
bit.
and then I stopped watching, to be honest.
I watched I had only ever watched the Baker years when I was a kid, and a few years ago I watched every Doctor Who that they had from the beginning to the. I think it was right when the Chick started.
I
have to say the original series was the best, not this new shit.
Really?
Original,
I
mean, the original like pre-modern Doctor.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? 5 or 6? I mean,
just the pre-modern day Doctor
before it came back. Before it
came back. I think the original run.
So
was
you're
so
talking
much
like
better.
Late
There's
50s
still
to
quite
the
a few
70s, right?
stinkers.
Yeah, 50s to the 80s.
There are still a few stinkers. I mean, I think Blake 7 has a better strike rate. I think Blake 7 has a way better strike rate. There's very few bad Blake 7 episodes.
I'm still trying to think.
Blake 7 was awesome. Thanks, James.
Yeah.
I freaking loved it.
Oh,
yeah, it changed my life.
UFO, that's a great show, great series.
I've never seen it.
No?
Space 1999.
Paul Rubens is Doctor Who.
Oh, no. Totoro as the master.
Paul Rubens is Doctor Who. It's like, the children are actually bigger on the inside.
As Pee Wee Herman as Doctor Who.
Well, let's.
I got to tell you, my favorite Doctor was David Tennant. I know you guys are like, what?
Tennant, really?
He was my favorite.
One of the first things I said to you was that I can't stand him, and he reminds me of the kind of cool, hip IT guy who steals your girlfriend on a team building exercise.
I can see that.
I think I've lost a girlfriend. Someone just taking her. At least I tell myself that.
Yeah.
But I also like Eccleston too.
Yeah, Eccleston was my favorite modern Doctor. He's like the Sweeney Doctor. He's like, "You're Nick, son. Come down the station."
He was kind of a badass.
Yeah,
I think the hottest Doctor Who girl was the American girl that was with
Purple Gilliam Brown.
Yes.
She had that.
Yeah,
She had
yeah,
that
yeah.
Sandra Bullock thing going on.
Nicola
Oh.
Bryant.
Whatever
Wait,
it
wait,
was,
wait,
I
wait,
was like,
Hey,
You know,
hey,
she hasn't aged a day. Like, she's still amazing. Amazing.
So James L, just for you, I'm gonna have two names. One is Chuck Norris, and then the wait. And then the other one is just specifically for you, which is Mel Gibson, because he's an American.
Wait, what?
Rowan Atkinson.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Like, it's been such a long
Raven's
time
lying
coming.
here.
It's been such a long time coming for you guys to have an episode where you basically hang shit on me. I've done so much to deserve it that I can't say anything.
Well, no.
you know-
I did it specifically Mel Gibson because everyone thinks he's Australian. I'm like, well, technically he's an American.
That Rowan Atkinson special was pretty good. I have to
Oh, I
admit.
love that one.
It was a good
Which one?
I never saw it, but I'm just trying to
Oh,
try
the
not to
second one?
cry a little inside
It's
thinking
like an
about it.
award show or some shit they did.
Oh, no,
for it.
there was
I
a
love
Christmas one
The
that they
Sopranos.
had.
I absolutely love The Sopranos, but I hate the last series. So The Sopranos is like one of
I've
my
never
favorite
seen a
shows
single
of all
episode.
time. Oh,
I don't
it's
do any
dark,
of the-
but it's good.
I've never seen Scarface, The Godfather. I don't do those crime shows. I'm not.
You
I'm
don't
not
like
into-
Crooks? You don't like
yeah.
Crooks?
Oh, Chuck.
I dealt with enough.
Breaking
of them.
Bad is the best
Yeah,
crook
yeah.
show.
I did see Breaking Bad. I did see that because
Great.
my mom wanted me to videotape it for her back in the day, so I had to watch it because I didn't know how to program the VCR.
Did
And
you
I don't
that's
watch
so-
anything. I don't watch anything made after they toppled Saddam Hussein. That's my cutoff point for culture.
It's like it was all
Tell
done.
me you've seen Goodfellas.
Everything after that sucked.
I mean, he's mentioned that, and all I can think is you talk about South Park, right? When they finally killed
Ralph
off Saddam
Cramden
Hussein.
is Doctor Who.
Oh, Jackie Gleason.
Oh, you guys are giving me like weird heartburn. Like,
Oh,
like
well,
I feel
wait,
like
wait,
I've
wait.
I
Wait a
feel like
minute,
I've had a
Charlie
milkshake
Chaplin.
and like gotten on a roller coaster.
Charlie Chaplin is
No,
the
I didn't see
doctor.
Goodfellas either.
Oh,
To
that
the
was-
moon.
Wait. Charlie Chaplin as the doctor, along with Groucho Marx as the master.
But that would be funny as shit. That would be awesome. Especially if they could do, like deep fake it and everything.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
the
man.
last bloke,
But then
the
that's
last
keep
bloke they
blocking
had
face.
playing the master, Sasha Dhawan, is like an Indian British guy. He was great. He was actually convincing. I was like, he's as mad as a hatter. But
Sorry, I just growing up and stuff. I just couldn't do the mafia kind of movies. It just
Oh, what was the other one that we have in there? If we're going to bring this out is
Jim
who
Carrey.
played for the Addams Family, the original. As Gomez.
You know,
Lloyd?
Gomez.
Raul Julia.
Yeah.
Gomez is such a
No,
model.
not
Gomez is such a model husband. Like, it's not funny. Like, if you model yourself on Gomez, you'll be all right. You'll do all right in the world of romance, in my view. He's a
Yeah,
legend. I
I
like
can't
Gomez.
remember. I know he showed up in Night Court a few times, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah. Well, he's the father
You
of.
mean John Aston?
Yeah, John Aston.
John
Yes.
Aston, that's it.
Yeah. See, that's what we need is we need to have him as the doctor with John Aston.
Although I don't know,
Yeah,
I
he'd have made
think
it great.
the Master would be kind of fun too.
Oh well, you know what? If you're gonna go play with it, and I heard someone say this long ago. The great thing about being a villain is you don't have to restrain yourself. You just go full bore and you just have as much fun as possible with it.
Gomez was a simp.
Wait a minute. If we're really going to do this, how can we forget?
Piercia would be real life experience.
All right, man. Why don't you just come over here and kick me in the shin? Like, seriously.
Just for you. What about?
No, we're Americans, dude. We kick you in the balls.
No.
Joke's
We
on
kick him
you.
in the nuts. That's what we do. It's
Joke's on you.
It's well. Let's see.
You'll stick to those like flypaper, my friend.
Oh,
There's like a squelch sound, and you're like, what?
how about what was it? Steve McQueen as the doctor.
Yeah, he
I
certainly
was
did.
never a big Steve McQueen fan. I think he was way overrated.
Who?
Steve McQueen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
or wait a minute. Roger Coburn as the Doctor.
Yul Brynner as the
Oh
Master.
my God!
Yes, yeah. Yul Brynner would work there too.
Chris Farley is the Doctor and Sam Kinison is the Master.
Oh shit, dude.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm catching
Kinnison would be an epic master.
I'm catching the plane tonight. I'm catching the plane tonight.
Wait a minute.
And I
So
can't
he
really
lives in a-
fight, so I'm
lives in
just
a
going to
TARDIS
stand
down by
outside
the
your
river?
house and like jump up and down.
Wait a minute. No. Robin Williams as the Doctor and
See, that would be good. That would be beautiful.
and
That
wait
would
a
be
minute,
beautiful.
and Jonathan Winters as the Master.
Jonathan Winters.
Oh, I love Jonathan Winters.
Hey, Percy, I used to hang out with Elvira. Yeah, no.
She's not hard to look at though.
I don't know about that.
Well, now,
Really?
but we're talking about 40 years ago.
I think she looks great.
Yeah, I knew her in the 80s.
I've had so many goth girlfriends. It does absolutely nothing for me. When people say I want a goth girlfriend, I'm like, trust me, you don't.
I'm not really worried about the goth part. It's just the big breasts. That's nice.
Maybe the people who make herpes
I thought you were worried
cream
about.
want you
I
to
thought
do.
you were worried about the big breasts. You know, that's.
I love the big breasts. They make me happy.
You're not part of the itty bitty titty committee?
Oh, I like lady bitty titties too. The mosquito bites. I'm an equal opportunity lover of women and all the
So
guys.
you like itty bitty titties and Obergruppenführers.
Oh, it just whatever it takes.
You like Obergruppenführers as well.
And everything
Sure.
in between.
It's
and
all
everything
good.
in between.
And then whatever label, yeah, I'm all good, man. It's like if she's pretty and feminine, I'm probably down.
As
I'm a
long as she
wizard.
doesn't look like she's underage, I'm cool.
I can't even
Yeah, I
tell
don't like-
nowadays, dude.
I don't
You
like
can't fucking tell.
I don't like the plucked chicken.
You don't really?
No.
Oh, Natural is
Now.
pretty cool.
I'm not even reading that out loud.
LeVar Burton.
Colonel
Matt, yeah, he looks like the. Who
LeVar
was
Burton.
the master? Like the first master? He was a good actor.
Roger Delgado.
What?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it has Roger Delgado. He was
Yeah,
amazing.
it has.
He was the best.
Oh, wait a minute.
So this talk that we're doing right now, this is after like a 9-hour like session of D&D. We all have all the pizza farts are out of this. All the soda's empty. We're waiting for our mom to come over and pick us up, and we're just talking about dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for your mum to come pick me up as well.
Hey now, come on, that's my mom. She's gone now.
Wait.
Some
I have
people
one
are-
hero,
some people
one hero
are-
in my life, and it was her. So be nice.
Some
Hey, wait,
people
wait.
are MILF hunters. Some people are MILF hunters. I'm a MILF
Oh, I love
assassin.
the milk.
We'll see. We'll see.
I like the guilt too.
Yeah. You know, as I get older, you start going, maybe. You know.
Hell, I'm a guilt. I'm not a guilt. Yeah, I'd be a guilt too, Grandpa.
Yeah, we're in the GILF category now, bro.
The guilt.
I
Genetic
think it's okay for us
life
to
order.
say we're in the GILFs now. That's
Hey.
basically chicks from our generation.
Yeah, I look at Zoomer girls and I'm like, are you cold? Should you put a jacket on or something? Like I'm well past all of that. It's like I was joking to my brother, like I was like, oh yeah, Zoomer women don't really do anything for me. But you know, when all the men get drafted, that's a different story.
I'm like, I'm not gonna slut shame you. Be a slut all you want.
You know what though?
Embrace it.
You know, the more I look at it, I'm like, that Amish woman looks pretty hot because she's baking and she's stirring butter.
The
And, I'm trying to look at this.
Just changing a wheel on the wagon.
exactly.
That's an Amish woman right
Yeah,
there.
like, yeah, you know what? That's that's much sexier than whatever you're doing on the pole.
Yeah. Your priorities definitely change. I'm like,
It's like, wait a minute, does that look like a homemade pie? And and fresh bread.
Totally.
And wait a minute. Did she make cherry cobbler? Oh hell yeah!
Cherry. Yeah, let's not go the cherry collar path. That's
I don't know about you guys, but
cherry
I'm more
cobbler.
into
When I look at
actual,
her, I get a wobbler.
someone I can actually talk to. I don't know about you guys, but
No,
I
that's
can't
gay,
actually,
dude.
hold a decent conversation.
No, dude, that's gay.
That's Grr.
You know what? I'd like to say that my standards have dropped as far as looks, but my standards for actually having like a useful skill have increased for women.
Dude,
Like, no,
any
you got-
woman that can tolerate me needs a fucking medal. Like, I'm sorry, but
actually, do any of you remember watching the old Benny Hill where they
Hell
had
yeah.
well, and they had
Who
the
doesn't?
beautiful girl come down with the with a man, and the man's like, "Would you like to swap wives?" And he looks over at the beautiful redhead, and then Benny Hill looks at his wife, and she's
Yeah.
like all frumpy and
It was always that dude, the
You-
old
well,
guy.
well, no. This was the other one. So they go back and forth, and his wife's like, "Woo, yeah!" And so she leaves with him, and the beautiful redhead says, "Okay, well, I've got to go." She's like, "Aren't you supposed to swap with me?" He's like, "No, that's my mom." And then her mother comes down, and she's even uglier. And he's like, "Ah!" And she says, "Ooh, look, I brewed my own beer." And he's like, "I love you."
That's funny.
Yeah, it was
exactly. Mac is right. And Elle, like, I'd love to have a go at you, but I so deserve it. That's the thing. Like,
Yes, women. I mean, this. Yeah, I mean, women say this shit too. Not about
Yes.
other women.
they
Some
say
women
worse. They
it.
say worse
yes,
stuff.
they say much worse things.
They talk about textures and smells and shit.
We do that too. We do that too. Maybe
No.
not the textures, but definitely the smells.
I don't kiss and tell.
You know what? Here's
Even on
what
that part of the anatomy.
So years ago, I was talking to a lady, and she's talking about all
It
the
was a
fragrance
couple
that-
years ago, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was saying, if you really want to attract a man, the number one smell,
First you
the,
got us.
the number one smell that men found attractive were baked goods. I said, you need to smell like
Or
pumpkin
bacon.
pie or
Oh,
something.
dude.
Cinnamon
And-
rolls.
Yep. And you know, she said, I don't want to smell like that. And I said, well, obviously you don't want a man then.
Yeah, my wife asked me a couple of years ago, what kind of perfume I wanted her to wear. I told her I don't really care for perfume, just be clean. But she's like, no, you got to tell me what scent is your favorite. Do they
See,
make
because
bacon?
Money.
because I'm like
Or
because I'm like
cheeseburger?
5% homo. My girlfriend comes out and she's like, "Does this work? Does this outfit work? What perfume should I buy?" I'm like, actually, this one. This one's really nice.
like,
Yeah,
no,
it's kinda
honey.
nice. You know,
The crotchless and the cupless works every time.
she's like, "Do you like my outfit?" I'm like, "Well, that color doesn't really go."
Do you know what sounds really sexy? Or oven mitts and a that's like, oh yeah, baby, you've been cooking. Come here.
Yeah, just
Oven
have a
mitt
job.
And
Have a
apron.
job and don't have AIDS.
Nothing
That's
else.
like a good
I don't
start.
even what?
There you go. There's your whole thing. It's just like
Yeah.
Let me
job
tell
and
you
no
something.
AIDS, and we're good.
Well, let's not forget
Not
the other
going
one,
through that
which
again.
is you look at it. I'm going to go with the old German, which is, are you able to push a car or pull a plow? Yes. Okay.
Well, it's what the Chinese. It's what the Chinese say. You can't grow rice on a pretty face. Like,
Yeah, I've heard
I've
that
heard
one
that
many a
one before.
time.
That's almost a. Yeah, I just had to throw it in there. It seemed like it needed to be.
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
oh, I'm gonna have
My
to do
large
so
yes
much.
knows no bounds.
I'm gonna have to do so much to like make up for my sin today. Probably gonna have to kill a chicken.
You might have to go up to a turkey
Mm,
with the sinnage going happening.
I'm gonna transfer my sin to a chicken.
But I've been pretty lucky in my life where a lot of the women that I've been with have been gamers with me. So
That makes a big difference.
That's always been pretty cool.
You know what though? Is most of mine
Living
are
the dream,
usually-
Brian. Living the dream.
Actually, I think
Yeah,
most of mine
I've
have
had
been
a lot
horse chicks. Is the problem? And I'm like, okay. And while I like horses, it's just that's a money sink right there.
I've had a lot of women kind of go, "Oh, you used to
I'm
walk
not
in,
putting
and
that
you
up,
want to
though. I'm
get
not
back
putting
into
that
that."
up, man.
Well, good luck with that. Good luck with your new
Actually,
kingdom
Brian, I
Egyptian.
was talking to Brian. I was talking to Raven today about you, and your wife and her friend when you guys, when you host games for them and it's for them,
yeah.
that was freaking epic, dude.
Yeah.
We need so much more of that.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I fucking love gaming with women. And first of all, I love women. Second of all, I think girls have a lot more fun. They're more mellow. They giggle a lot, which lightens up everything. And it's not this testosterone, like aggression. It's like it's fun. It's like really easy going and shit.
I love to have women in games. The problem is getting enough of them. So it's like I don't.
You'd be surprised, man. If you just talk, that was what one of my pickup lines. Honestly, it was like, "Hey, are you a gamer at all?" I'm like, "No, not video game shit. Like tabletop."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, like Monopoly. I'm like, "Oh, like D&D and like with Little Army Man." Like, no, what's that? I'm like, "Yeah, got her, Just reel her in, bruh. You got it." And then me being a DM and having all the books and having all the shit, I can just host games with. Yeah, come on over, bring your friends. You
keeps asking me to play a game, but I gotta paint more guys before.
There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Either you're masculine or you're not.
I don't even I really struggle to understand what that is. Like, I think it's just like
it's man hating is what it means. That's all it is.
I mean, I'm sure. Like, I've seen guys do the whole locker room thing and maybe go a bit too far or whatever, and like, I've seen guys kind of pile on a chick in a social situation. I mean, if that's what they mean, that's
have you
fine.
seen women do the same thing? If they mean just being a dude and like joking around, well, that's a bit too much, isn't it? Well, usually toxic masculinity just means that you're being a man. Like you tell a woman no, or no, I'm going to do this. It's basically anything they don't like is what they call toxic masculinity. And it's just really the man haters. Don't get me wrong. If there's toxic personality, it's toxic personality.
Listen, every time I pulled out a leash and a collar, it was completely consensual. So don't give me any shit.
Once again, so bored of the whole old girl thing. Like, not like I've just done it too many times. But give me a homemaker. I'm on Omen's page.
I'm mellow, man. It's like I'm not into like this. I mean, you be who you are, man. I mean, if you're uptight about every little fucking thing, then we're just not going to mesh, and we just move on with our lives. It's just I don't have time for that. Like being we were talking about like certain tables, and you guys were talking about those cards, those like X cards or Z cards or whatever the fuck. I'm like, listen, if we can't all be adults and in a situation, we know this is make believe, and we know this is just whatever. Just light the fuck up. Just lighten up.
Well,
some of the more intense. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
No. Here's the problem with it. It is everyone's making this huge big deal out of it, and it's a super small minority that actually talk about this. It's the people who live on Twitter that that's their whole life. And I'm like, do you have a job? And they're like, no, I am. I mean, this mental disability that prevents me from actually like losing weight or walking outside or hearing anything I disagree with.
That's sometimes a bit of a mental prison that like people put themselves in, and you kind of think I can rail against this and give this person a hard time, or I can try and encourage them out of it a little bit. Like, we all fall into traps.
Though. I hate saying
I understand that. I understand that. But we do fall into traps sometimes where someone just needs to show us a better way,
Well, and to be fair, look, if there's something that I find really offensive, I'm letting someone know. I don't need an X card, but I have that kind of personality.
Seriously, I am not offended by anything.
I mean,
to a point where I'm like, I never, my monocle falls out in my soup or anything. Like, it's just my life does not really.
No. I'll be honest. There are certain things that if you're going to put in a game, I'm just going to stand up and say, okay, I'm done. thanks, bye. If you're just putting in rape of small children and stuff like that, I'm like,
Yeah, if it's
look,
like
that's not the
if
type of
it's
game
like
I want to play.
the
But I
Jimmy,
don't need
if
an
it's like
X
the
card
Jimmy
for it.
Savile,
Yeah.
the Jimmy Savile board game, like I don't want to be part of that. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if it's something like that, I'm like, I'm gone. I'm just like,
I mean, I'll be
Yeah.
honest,
thanks, I'm gone.
it's not something pleasant, but I wouldn't leave the table. It would
I will
just
leave
be,
the table
it would
if I-
be,
look,
it would
if-
be like a scene in like the brutalization of a community, or you could say it in a different way. They might say it in a different way, but it wouldn't draw me away. But if it was like a constant, like an in-depth, like detailed
There's a
thing,
kind of-
it might be.
there's a kind of nihilism to games that are just like all like focused on sexual assault and like arbitrary violence, and
But the thing is,
like
it
I
happens.
don't see that as very good storytelling a lot of the time. Like,
But I mean,
Fade to
I
black.
know that, and I'm not
Fade to
giving it a
black.
pass. But it's like when
Says
you
I
talk
haven't,
about an
bro.
orc, horde coming into a village and rape and pillaging. That's what they're doing. They're
No, no,
raping.
Orcs don't have
understand,
genitals.
but Brian, I
Orcs
don't
don't
need
have
graphic
genitals. They're
descriptions of
fungus.
it.
They're fungus based.
But you know what I mean? Okay, I take that back. It'd be like marauders, like human marauders or something like
Yeah.
that.
No, but
Sometimes
the
you
whole,
just gotta
but the whole
take the
point
pussy.
again is I don't need graphic descriptions. Fade to
No,
black.
I agree.
That-
But again,
That's
even if-
why I'd say
even if-
that's enough.
even if Shadow wanted to tell me a detailed description of it, I would just, okay, that's brutal. Let's kill these fucks. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't.
Sure.
I'm not that like. I know it's a game and it's
I
not
think-
real, and I
think the people who are like really into the X card thing are often like really permissive about other things. And so they'll go, oh, I don't like this colonialist theme or whatever. But then they'll talk about things that are really like, I'm like, do we really need to go into like the ins and outs of the relationships between the characters? You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like-
this is the way I usually play a game. Whenever we start, what rating are we playing the game? Is it G, PG, PG-13, R, or X?
whatever they want to play it at.
No. Well, my point is that it's established before we ever play the game.
I don't know. I'm not that sensitive, and things like that don't make me feel. I mean, it's not that I want to play that way, but they just don't draw me away. It doesn't offend me. It's a fucking game. I can handle it. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, it's like when you go to a movie, and when something happens in a movie that you weren't expecting, do you walk out?
It depends on how bad it is. I mean, there's certain
Right.
things.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, if I'm going to a G-rated movie and I start seeing a bunch of X-rated stuff, I'm like, no, because that wasn't part of the agreement of when I went in. Now, if I go to an X-rated movie and I start seeing some cartoons, I'm not walking out because they have cartoons. I just have to be honest about this. But you have to know what you're getting into first, and then read the table is really what it comes down to. Watch your players.
Now to flip it,
I
like if
don't
I'm on a
think-
table where everybody is so scared to say something,
Oh no.
I fucking leave that because it's just like it's just stupid. It's just dumb.
Yeah,
It's just, no one wants to do anything. It's so just vanilla and unrealistic, and it's just
It feels like a bit of a non-problem though. Like if you're exercising a degree of discretion and taste, most of these things will not come up most of the time.
it's true.
There are a couple of times I've dealt with some people like that, and to be honest, they gave me the creepy vibe anyway, and it was just a good excuse to leave. Because because sometimes with these people, these personalities, it's not just the game; it's also that person. You're like, okay.
Matt's got a
fair.
question. Bring it, Matt.
What the
Oh,
fuck
go
is
ahead,
the
Matt.
next card?
What's the next card? The next card is what it's supposed to do is you're allowed to tap it just to say that you're very uncomfortable without having to explain why. But the reality
what
of it
game
is
is
that
this?
most people that talk about the X card have either never dealt with it for number one, and number two is even when I've played games where there has been on one, I've never seen it pulled. And that's the reality, because let's be honest, if they're pulling out the X card and it's just ruining the game, then you take them aside and say, hey, look, this game isn't for you. You shake their hand and you say goodbye, or vice versa. And that's if you have to pull an X card, it's probably not the game for you anyway. So
I mean, even though I love a blue joke, I have to say that like most of the time
what I'm consuming in terms of media. Like I try and keep it relatively wholesome. And I try not to view things that are like making me like kind of desensitized to like everything, but at the same time, I don't know, man. Like I'm just here to kill goblins and make gold. You know what I mean? So
another thing, it's like in the world, it's so like I can just speak for America because that's where I live. It's okay to murder the fuck out of everybody, but to show a tit is beyond the pale.
No,
Yeah,
no. I'm going to bring this much.
Americans take Puritanism and like confuse it with being moral, and they're not the same thing.
Sorry, guys.
Like,
Yep. See, that's exactly like RPG Grandma. That's the point. Is at a certain, you're acting like, well, I've never did this. No, there's a certain point. If I feel uncomfortable in a game, I'll leave. I mean, usually is, and some people try doing it intentionally. And it's like, okay, fine, I can take jokes for certain parts, but the other part of it is I don't care. I don't want fade to black. Okay, if I usually, like I said, the first thing I'll do is I want a PG-13 game. Okay, fine. I don't really care. You can do some. There could be naked women running around. The stuff that was. Well, yeah, but I really don't care.
I haven't
but I don't want to. What I don't want to hear is about all the fornication and going into detail and what you're seeing and what you're smelling. Stop, pull back. I'm done. I don't need your fantasy.
Exercise a bit of discretion. It's like, would you talk to a perfect stranger about some of these topics? Not necessarily.
Okay, so let's flip it. Let's flip it on the things that you don't mind. You're talking about killing goblins. You say, okay, you swing, you got a crit, you roll a 37 hit point, you chop that fucker's head right off. Now, is that beyond the pale? Cutting some living creature's head off?
No.
It is if they go through a 5-minute description of all of the gore and blood and viscera and the smell. Then it's like, okay, enough. That's
cool.
It's just like. That's
probably some kind of middle road between all of the things that we're talking about. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's most of the time, like I said, is we've played the games. It's how much detail do I want? I don't want as much detail. I don't have to get every little thing in there. I don't have to hear, oh, well, you get to see this. And look, I'm playing a game to move the story along, and we have some action. That's good enough.
We had mentioned in another show, me and Shadow were talking about, there's a level of gameplay that is rarely used as love between characters in relationships. And again, like when we watch a movie and characters fall in love, or it's not a big deal, But it's like when it comes,
I don't want to watch a chick flick when I'm playing my game.
No, but you watch like X-Files and like Skull and Moldy like end up falling in love with each other, and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's what I'm talking about. It's like
in every fantasy movie that we've ever seen. I mean, Conan and Valeria, perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
That was a love story right in the middle.
Robin Hood, Maid Marian, John Carter.
It wasn't
Days of Forest.
Beastmaster and that priestess chick. I mean, it's
it wasn't graphic though, was it?
It wasn't graphic. No,
I mean, Conan was supposed to sing. There was love, but guess what? Conan, you can talk a little bit and then move on. They're having an orgy. Okay, move on. I don't have to hear like every little detail. Right. That's my point. It's a lot of times it's just what level.
If you're gonna assault a set, a lizard or a snake temple of Set, you gotta have orgies. So just. Fuck up.
I didn't say
the cult that plays together stays together.
That's it. That's how they.
Wait a minute. I did not say anything against snakes, orgies, cannibalism, and slavery.
What about snake orgies?
Well, those are all included in that one. Okay,
that was in the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. But but usually we talk about what level we want anyway. It's going to be a PG-13 game. Okay, fine. That works.
But I mean, I've played most of my characters, not most, but a lot of my characters have been probably sexual guys.
Okay, that's fine.
And they high charisma, is trying to seduce people into instead of fighting, seducing, because I think it's fun. It's more fun trying to dupe people into whatever. But yeah, I mean, there's a level, there's a component of sexuality to that too at times.
Okay.
And it's
Sexuality
just
isn't the problem. It's what level are you going to?
no, I get it. But I'm just saying. I mean, it's just. But
There's no
that's
need
the
for
thing. It's
detail.
like
Nobody needs
exactly.
to
Yeah,
know
I
the
want
details.
more.
Fade to black works just fine.
I might
Fade
dig
to
some
black.
There's a
detail.
happy medium. There's a happy medium between Jane Austen and Gemma Jameson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but they're both good, right?
Is it Jane Austen versus zombies or whatever that one was
No,
called?
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I watched that when I was in the hospital. It's surprisingly okay, to be honest with you. It's not bad.
You know.
So watch it.
have you seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
That
That's
was
ridiculous. That movie.
It was the
Oh
worst
my
thing that
God.
happened to Abraham Lincoln in
Oh,
the
that
theater.
was campy goodness.
Yeah,
it was-
yeah.
You
It
know,
was ridiculous, especially when
In
you're on
fact,
top of
I
a
like-
train.
It was so dumb. It was fun to watch.
I like the
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so the Asylum, that studio, that movie studio, they do all the like low budget like rip off movies. They did one an Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer or whatever. That's
Agreed,
actually
Gemma.
the
Agreed.
guy that played Abe Lincoln was better than the guy that played in the big budget one. I really
Hey,
think that was awesome.
I just want to watch Bubba Hotep. It
Hell
had
yeah.
some sexual stuff. It had some sexual stuff, but it had a zombie.
Bubba
mummy.
Hotep was great. That was
Yeah.
a great.
Look,
I
look,
saw that
look,
years
look.
ago. It was hilarious.
It's not that
Coscarelli's
you-
best.
You're let see. That's the kind of sexuality. Like, okay, we did enough for
It's
that.
got Bruce
Like, oh,
Campbell
okay.
in it. It's got Bruce Campbell in it. It's hilarious.
It's Bruce Campbell, and so it was Elvis and JFK versus a mummy in an East Texas nursing home.
Great. Have
That's,
you not seen it, Shadow?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, dude, I got a movie poster of it in my room right now, actually.
yeah, I saw this right along with when I went to go see Comic Strippers at the Alamo. No. It was improv comedy with strippers.
Oh, okay. I've seen that.
It was
It's not funny.
no, it was horrible. It was terrible.
Sorry, guys.
The heckler was
You guys
better than
have-
strippers.
You guys have encountered the kind of player who uses the whole romance thing as an avenue to like make other players feel a little bit like make their anatomy shut, right?
Well, no,
Like,
well, there's always the asshole, but look, it's not fair if like you and your person, again, this is a role-playing game. These are not real people. We're in fictitious settings. But like if my
no,
character
it's real.
is,
It's real.
my character is a womanizer, right? And I gotta like, I might have to like, there's a female or male or whatever I want to do. There might be roles against their abilities that I might have to. There might have to be a little bit of whatever, right?
It's time to roll for seduction.
But
Well,
but there might be levels of whatever, like convincing them and then like taking them to this area or whatever it might be.
okay, so Brian, I wouldn't mind it if I had a female DM.
See, I mean that.
Oh,
That's like
jokingly.
jokingly, like I was messing with Shadow about his character Rex and Mike, which is a male, and my character Cindy is a female.
A
And
female
I was
lesbian.
joking with him, but the thing is, if in reality I wanted to play as Cindy and like she had an affinity to Rex, I mean, I would think that us being adults, we could do that in character. It's not like I'm trying to come on to Shadow, but like Cindy might
Yeah, of
be
course.
interested in Rex.
You would
know
never
what I mean?
do that. You would
He-
never
he-
ever do that.
He's
You
an
would never,
attractive
ever use
man,
a
and you're
role-playing
just trying
game
to
to
feel
play
out
out
the
a fantasy
boundaries.
where you
That's
put
all.
closer to Shadow. That would never happen.
No, but again, it's just like it's not. I think all players have equality.
I know what you mean.
In the game.
No.
And it's like,
I know what you're saying, Brian. I'm just saying for me, it's not comfortable unless it was a female DM. Just
okay,
period.
and I mean, I don't. And again, that's your thing, but I don't see the difference between a male and a female DM for that situation, or even a male character and a male character, female playing a female or male or whatever it might be.
I think it's just hysterical to see the look on Poe's face. That's the best part.
Oh, dude,
Listen,
yeah.
Listen, Brian, it's Dungeons and Dragons, not dildos and.
No, but you can just say that. Dungeons and Dragons is more than just going to kill monsters and steal loot.
Right.
Look, it's all about rescuing the princess. And let's be honest, you try to do romance, but this is a time when it was everyone had arranged marriages, and boom, that's what you do. It's brothels and arranged marriages. There is no like anything else in between. No.
It's true. It's like there's no real women. Like it's all just women you find at the either in they're prisoners or they're.
He opens his jerkin. He opens his leather jerkin and takes out his thin, long, elven penis. Like
right.
You see, like that's not what I want to hear.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Oh.
I've always wondered
about it. I don't think that's even been a thing since high school for my gaming groups.
Well,
I think once we stopped being teenagers, we kind of stopped with the with the sex things.
Really? I mean,
it wasn't. It just
okay. So, like, in my personal life, sex is a big factor. I have
in real.
You know what I mean?
I know. No. I've been watching
but in the game, it just kind of lost some of its luster once we got past 20 or so.
Just like eating.
Not that I'm dogging on you. I'm just
no. That's fine. Trust me. I don't. It doesn't.
My personal game. I honestly don't think it's come up since like 1988.
Wow.
Well, I have a cold shower every day, so I don't think about such things.
No, but it's just like in my games, I'll make sure that my people eat food and rest, and change their clothes and like have social interactions instead of just
her heaving green orcish bosom.
That's right.
Like
her glowing, her glistening.
All I can think is Death by Snoo.
Wobble as she moves forward.
The dwarf stood to attention, holding his tumescent hammer, like
Nice.
That's,
See,
we don't need to go there.
Sex scenes in those cool, like symbolic,
Right,
ways.
Brian not only has had sex, he's done it more than once, which makes him, in our eyes, a god.
No, it's just like I like all facets of real life, like that could happen in a role playing game. People can get like in my games, people can get sick. Like I don't usually tell my players this, but once a campaign, I roll on a secret chart that I did, and it's either a long-term ailment or it's a short-term ailment chart. And then like if it's a long-term and if they roll really shitty, they can start developing cancer or like pneumonia or whatever. And for some reason, they start to get sick, they start to lose stats or whatever. And I do shit like that, and it's nothing personal. It's all just random, and it's just that real aspect that could affect their characters in the game.
Yeah, I think all of us want to see stuff we haven't seen before within reason. But
Game of Thrones, everybody fucking loved it, and there's tons of sex in that, and people still loved it. So
I hated Game of Thrones. I despise Game of Thrones.
I've never seen it.
Hey, I didn't need the gratuitous sex.
Wouldn't it be great if like everybody was? Wouldn't it be great if everybody was morally grey and there was no point to anything? Like oh, fuck off! Like what rubbish! Absolute garbage.
Hey! I like the eunuch.
So I got to take issue with RPG Grandma here.
Okay.
I do not agree.
Yeah.
There, Orion women and Orc women, there is absolutely no equivalency whatsoever with pig-faced women and super hot green slave chicks. I'm sorry, I got to disagree on this one.
What about the ones from World of Warcraft? Or Warcraft?
Oh, the
Or they just club you. They just club you over the head and pull you back to the.
Hey, you know what? That would be so much easier in dating. That's the problem with modern dating. You guys go jump through all these hoops. Back to arranged marriages. Let's just do that. That way your families get along. If you don't, it's a duel to the death with the brother. And
I'll find you an Aussie. I'll find you an Aussie girlfriend. If you like being hit over the head, you just need an Australian girlfriend. That's right.
Aren't they the easiest going?
They beat the crap out of you.
No. I just heard.
I'm glad that's our national reputation. We're like way more uptight, way more workaholic, way more like keeping up with the Joneses than we would like the rest of the world to see.
You know,
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to cut it here. I've got to
good idea.
boy with some homework and stuff. This was
Yeah,
a blast
clean your
as
mind.
always. I hope you guys all have a great holiday. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with a review. Maybe not. Otherwise, I will see you guys Saturday night. We can do this again. Just sci-fi-ish. I don't know. I'm working on a topic. If you guys have any suggestions for a sci-fi talk, let me know.
Detailed sci-fi sex scenes.
No, we're not doing that.
Just make everybody
we
go.
could talk about Orion women, I guess.
Oh no!
Upgrade.
Wait a minute. If you're gonna do it, yeah. If you want to do that, sex in sci-fi, and just mention the ones that lay eggs and all the other crap.
Yeah, man,
You look mighty
great.
fine in that chainmail, boy.
Yeah. Husk women, pod chicks. We'll just run the whole gambit.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Why don't you talk about?
Wait a minute. Barbarella with the touching of the hand.
You guys are killing me tonight.
Remember that?
Barbarella.
Oh, come on. Remember where they're like, oh, take the pill or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to. Oh my god, that movie is awful. Hated that movie.
All right, guys. If you guys want to keep chatting, you don't have to leave the green room. Or
Yeah, I'm
leave
gonna
the
stay here.
party.
Anyone who wants to hang out, I've got nothing to do.
I'm
waiting
just
for my
thinking,
glue to
Brian.
dry.
I'm just thinking that Brian said this. It's like, look, after the 45th time of watching this movie, I
Start
don't
on
think I
this
should watch
chat.
it one more
40,
time.
Yeah, that's my cue to hit the road, guys. Thank you guys so much. I haven't laughed this much all
Big
week.
halfling testicles.
Oh.
God, I wish I could have ended the show on that.
Huge.
Yeah,
Bye,
if you
Shadow.
just watch the
Good night,
very
everybody.
first,
Hey,
first
wait a minute.
everybody-
you're good. That's it. Just turn it off.
Hey, James
The
L.
Hobbit, hairy feet.
No. Wait. When you play your halfling cook, you need to play him as if he was Trump, and then just like huge testicles. And
Now that's fun. We used to do that for a whole campaign. We said, okay, you have to play as a famous person,
This
actor,
necromancer.
but it has to be a certain like role. So like if you're gonna be like, I'm gonna play a bard as James Bond for the entire campaign,
All
you have
these
to play as
goblins,
James Bond.
all these goblins are coming over the border. No one's stopping them.
We need to build a wall.
The
So the whole
elves
campaign is
gave us
trying
a
to
bad
build a
deal.
wall.
It was a bad deal that we had with the elves, and I corrected it.
Good night, everybody.
All right, man.
Night.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.